the dragon, do you?
I'm the dragon!
The world hasn't seen a dragon in centuries.
We're all liars here.
The dragon.
There is only one God, and his name is death.
And there is only one thing we say to death. Not today.
Dragon,
Dragon, dragon. Dragon, dragon. Dragon, dragon.
the dragon.
Dragon.
Dragon, dragon. Dragon, dragon.
Dragon.
Dragon, dragon.
The dragon.
Be a dragon.
Dragon.
Thousand names.
Dragon.
The dragon. Dragon.
I'm a vile man. I confess it.
I am the dragon!
Listen.
What is this brief mortal life,
Dragon.
if not the pursuit of legacy?
Dragon.
Can't we get along? No! Nobody gets along. Everybody sucks. Not blacks and whites. Every fucking body. I hate everybody and everything about every fucking body. Those people are scumbags! What are you laughing about? You're a scumbag.
When a dragon is free to roam, everything
Dragon.
Listen.
We're about to sit down and spend some time with my friend, the Red Dragon,
Dragon.
Reese from Philly, live.
They see you as you
Dracarys.
All right, let me get right into this madness. Today I'm talking Karmelo Anthony, just like the rest of the world. The only difference here is I waited a couple of days, actually a week and a couple of days. I wanted to hear everyone else lose their shit and go crazy over this because I knew that's what was going to happen. But I deliberately didn't look into, facts or whatever you in case info. I wanted to hear what everybody had to say first and then look at it and learn a little bit of the Texas law and look at some of the channels that I ain't used to looking at to hear some opinions from some people that, never heard from before. That's what I'm going to share with you today because I have different opinions about this now. After waiting for a while, I was on this kid's side from the beginning because I hate bullies. Everybody knows the story. And that's what the news put out there, that he was being bullied and other people too. So I bit that. But I said, before I make any judgments, let me just wait a while before I jump in and join the fray. But today I'm joining it. I'm going to look at a couple videos, a bunch of them actually, a couple different points of view, show you how everybody's mixing this up and stirring it up, because this is going to be the next racial conversation for the next year or so to come, just like OJ and, other stuff. George Floyd and what have you and other shit. Rodney King, that's all this is. And it's going to work on everybody, just like all the other ones. It's going to work the way it's designed to work. It never fails. People are too stupid. So let me jump on and join everybody else. Find the BS in this, expose it for what it is, and ruffle some feathers as usual. This first video I'm going to check out, all right? I like this guy because he's no coward. Just listen to how he talks about this whole case and everything. And I'll pause it a few times and give my little stuff on it. So let's go.
Less than a week after the funeral of 17-year-old high school student Austin Metcalf, which was held in Frisco, Texas, it's now clear how his killer, Karmelo Anthony, is going to defend himself in court. This will not be a trial where the outcome hinges on some disputed fact or on a damning piece of forensic evidence or the use of some clever legal theory. Instead, in the eyes of Karmelo Anthony's legal team, the result of this trial will depend on whether they can seat at least one juror who harbors a deep and abiding resentment towards white people. If they can accomplish that,
that is not a hard thing to do in 2025. Matter of fact, that is a very easy thing to do. And that individual doesn't necessarily have to be black. That's how crazy the world and America is right now. There are millions of white people that will turn on their own kind in the name of wokeness. Not saying that that's what's happening here. Just saying they can find this juror very easily, and I believe they will.
During jury selection, then they're guaranteed a mistrial, and Karmelo Anthony can continue driving around in expensive SUVs and living in rented mansions until prosecutors give up.
I'm not 100% sure when these SUVs and mansions were acquired, but there's a lot of talk going around about that, and I love it. I love the anger in everyone and the anxiety, and I love it. I'm going to get into that too.
That's their plan as of right now. There's just no longer any way to deny it. We're about to witness another trial in this country where, like the Chauvin trial or the OJ trial, no one is even pretending that the facts actually matter. All that matters is race. In fact, this isn't even really comparable to an OJ Simpson situation. It's worse than that. In that case, his supporters could hide behind the fact that he was famous or that the police were supposedly corrupt because of what they did to Rodney King or, that sort of thing. The prosecution of Karmelo Anthony, in a very straightforward and undiluted way, will determine whether race trumps the rule of law in this country. It will test whether anti-white race hatred is so profound and so pervasive.
Look what the last 4 years have done to white folks. Look how they're talking now. They don't trust anything anymore, and I'm not mad at them. The last 4 years of bullshit was the worst time in history to be a white guy. They caught hell.
Barely able.
Well, as soon as I rectify this situation, we can watch the rest of the goddamn video. Not sure what's going on here. One more time. Here we go.
What he has failed into is the political
is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Close quote. Well, he can barely speak English, even though. So he said,
"These are my words. Don't quote anybody. Is a disrespect to the dignity of his son."
I'm going to go back to this guy's video, but we're going to get to this clown right here because oh my God, he is the star of the show.
What he has failed into.
Try to pick up where I left off. Damn, I'm on the wrong video. Sorry. Here we go.
Now, this illiterate scumbag knows exactly what he's doing. He understands that Anthony's only real chance of acquittal is to stoke racial conflict in the hopes that he can pollute the jury. That's the only chance he has.
Oh, boy.
Because they've got him dead to rights on the facts. He brought a knife where it wasn't supposed to be. He brought a knife to a school event. That's problem number one. Took it out and stabbed someone, even though he couldn't possibly have really feared for his life in that scenario. Tried to ditch the murder weapon, ran away.
Now, this is where blacks and whites differ a little bit. I agree with him here, though. But let me tell you, this is where blacks and whites differ. Because you ask a black person about this, and they'll say, in some situations, you would feel fear for your life this early in a confrontation, before any punches are thrown. In some of the neighborhoods we're from, things are that hostile and people are that reactionary to where you might fear for your life in a situation like this before a punch was thrown. But it is highly unlikely that you would feel that way with a couple white guys around other brothers. You would feel that way. But the painful truth is, with a couple white guys, you wouldn't feel that same fear and feel that your life was threatened. So everybody who's woke and, on the Karmelo side, all over nigga YouTube. Everybody that's saying that he feared for his life is a liar. They're all liars.
And then asked the police whether he has a plausible self-defense claim, which that fact alone, by the way, even without all the rest of it, that fact alone should basically sink him, because any self-defense claim is going to hinge, to begin with, at a minimum, on the defendant being able to say that he believed he was in fear for his life.
That's where he is also wrong. Not about the law, but he's wrong in that he thinks it's going to matter in this courtroom. This could go two different ways, though. 100% this is a psyop. Even if it didn't start off as one, it's one now. Okay? So this is a psychological operation on the public. Two different ways this could go. This kid could get slammed. And this could go to trial. And then that could start some madness. Maybe not some riots and some fires, but a guilty verdict might start some nonsense with some riots and some fires. And sentencing, if they knocked his head off, that would send a woke mob bananas, and it would be George Floyd 2.0. Or flip this around. He gets off scot-free, and white people lose their mind. And that right there, I don't even want to talk about, because black or not, that is what you do not want. That is the last thing everyone alive in America would want, is for white people to lose their shit. And I'm going to tell you something. If the government and the media and niggas don't leave white people alone and push them over the edge, you will see darkness in the world like you can't imagine, especially if those bullshit stories about history are true. But any group pushed to the urge with that kind of power and numbers, I think should be left alone. That's all I'm going to say. Stop this bullshit. Make it go away.
That, at least he believed it was self-defense. Well, the defendant can't say that, because he revealed his state of mind to the police shortly after, and he wasn't sure whether it was self-defense or not. And that's really what this entire press conference was about.
That could be determined two different ways anyway. The police, as soon as the police saw him, the first thing out of his mouth was, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he showed concern for the kid, is what some people will say. Like, he said something like, is he going to be okay? Or, no, that's not what he said. He said, I was protecting myself or something. It was like an admission of guilt before the police even read him his rights. People complaining because the cops didn't read his right. Shit, he started talking before they even got a chance to stop him. Anyway, some people are going to see that as him saying that out of fear and concern for the other kid, which I think is bullshit. Or he could be saying that because he's the deer in headlights. Now he knows he's caught. Oh, I was protecting myself. Who knows? Who knows? Only the kid knows.
At no point during his remarks, which lasted around 30 minutes, did Dominique Alexander outline a coherent defense of what Anthony did. Instead, in addition to lashing out at the victim's father, he suggested that the Frisco School District was actually responsible for Austin Metcalf's death because they didn't cancel the track meet during inclement weather. Yes.
I do not remember him saying that, but that is incredible if he did. So let's go watch this fool. Try not to laugh, because this dude, he fucks English up like no one else. It's embarrassing. And if this is the guy representing him, he's fucked. Let's go.
Action Network. Here's how he began the press conference yesterday for Karmelo Anthony's family.
Next Generation Action Network from the beginning has respected the loss of life. No matter our opinion of it, we have kept our opinion close. We have not attacked. we have not shared the information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf because we respect the dignity.
Metcalf? Wait a minute. What the hell did he say? That's why he called him incoherent. All right.
Because we information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf because we respect the dignity of life and loss.
That is a bullshit freestyle. Some more of that dashiki poetry. You hear the emotion.
And all I'm going to say, so it don't be ass later.
Shivering lip and all that bullshit. Shit is fake.
And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is
so it don't be asked later. This is a fucking attorney. You're gonna tell me this guy passed the bar? No fucking way in hell.
And loss. And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character. He was not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family.
I don't know how I feel about that. He wasn't invited, but he has a dead kid. And not only that, before he showed up, he gave him a statement saying that he forgave. So for you, forgiveness is what he expressed. So for you to say that he came there with an agenda, that is fucked up, sir. See, I'm caught up now. And I've been listening to all the bullshit everybody's been saying. And niggas have been lying and being disingenuous because this is the same playbook over and over and over again. And once again, you bit the fat worm on the hook and your emotions are invested and you can't let go. That man came there probably to reach out to that family. Now, I'm speculating like everybody else was, right? Did he come there for nonsense? What, show up by himself in a room full of niggas and to start shit? You know better. You know he didn't. He wasn't disrespecting anybody. The two families need to get together and talk because it was two fucking children involved. That's why the adults involved need to get together and talk about it. Not turn this into the Ku Klux Klan against the dashikis. Everybody has to stop feeding into that horse shit. It's a kid at the end of the day. But everybody's concerned about their own emotions and how they feel about it. Fuck this kid and this father who lost one. They're worried about themselves. Selfish bastards.
This guy is currently apparently the primary representative of Karmelo Anthony and his family. And he doesn't start the press conference by talking about, how Anthony is innocent or how sorry he feels for the family of Austin Metcalf. Instead, Dominic Alexander begins by lecturing Jeff Metcalf, the father of the slain teenager, about how he is disrespectful and how he's supposedly disgracing his son's memory. Yes, Karmelo Anthony's representative personally attacks the father of the boy who Karmelo Anthony killed. I mean, it was one of the most cartoonishly evil and grotesque displays you'll ever see. Watch.
I want to start off this press conference to say something as a deep note that I can tell America. What we've seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference.
The hands in the pocket, the looking down, trying to look serious and sincere, the biting of the lip and the pausing in between words. It is preacher bullshit. It is Malcolm X. It's Barack. It's the same flow. It's the same flow we heard 1,000 times. This nigga's phony.
These are my words. Don't quote anybody. Is a disrespect to the dignity of his son.
So he says, what we've seen at the beginning of this press conference of the father being at this press conference is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Close quote. Well, he can barely speak English, even though he's apparently the spokesman for this family. That's your first problem, getting a spokesman who can't speak.
Wow.
Really, he's doing marketing for the Next Generation Action Network or whatever it's called. But at the same time, even though this guy's barely able to string a sentence together, the message is very clear. He's saying that the father of Austin Metcalf, whose name he can't even pronounce, and whose son was just brutally murdered by his client, doesn't deserve to be in the same room as the family of Karmelo Anthony. And then he implies he has some sort of dirt on Austin Metcalf, but he doesn't want to say what it is. He just wants to smear the name of the dead child as much as possible. He also clearly wants to torment Jeff Metcalf, a grieving father who has shown Karmelo Anthony and his family infinitely more grace and compassion than they deserve, and certainly much more compassion and grace than they are showing him.
That is a fact. Because we all know, honestly, we all know what would be going down right now if the Metcalf family were black. If the Metcalf family was black, there would have been a full-scale war wherever these people lived. And everybody knows it. This man has shown forgiveness and even tried to meet these people. Sad.
And for good measure, he implies that Jeff Metcalf is a racist. And then they had the police come and throw Jeff out of the press conference. And of course, you know, when Jeff Metcalf was told to leave, interestingly enough, he didn't stab anyone, as Karmelo Anthony did in the same situation. Now, this illiterate scumbag knows exactly what he's doing. He understands that Anthony's only real chance of acquittal is to stoke racial conflict in the hopes that he can pollute the jury. That's the only chance he has, because they've got him dead to rights on the facts. He brought a knife where it wasn't supposed to be. He brought a knife to a school event. That's problem number one. Took it out and stabbed someone, even though he couldn't possibly have really feared for his life in that scenario. Tried to ditch the murder weapon, ran away, and then asked the police whether he has a plausible self-defense claim, which that fact alone, by the way, even without all the rest of it, that fact alone should basically sink him, because any self-defense claim is going to hinge, to begin with, at a minimum, on the defendant being able to say that he believed he was in fear for his life, that at least he believed it was self-defense.
He's not going into detail, but that goes to that Texas law. I can't remember the numbers and all that, but self-defense, in layman terms, in Texas, you basically have to meet the force that's being exerted towards you with equal force. So you can't blow someone's head off if they hit you with a spitball. Being silly, but that's kind of what you can't stab one in the heart if they grab your bag or shove you one time. That's going to be damn near impossible to prove with a court of law. There's a chance this kid could get scared and plead out or be given a chance to. I really don't think that's going to happen. The media, everybody needs this to go to trial and drag on, so this can be our next thing that we focus on while they do A, B, and C behind the scenes. They did it with OJ, Kobe, George Floyd, other shit, all kinds of stuff. And this is just another one of those.
Well, the defendant can't say that, because he revealed his state of mind to the police shortly after, and he wasn't sure whether it was self-defense or not. And that's really what this entire press conference was about. At no point during his remarks, which lasted around 30 minutes, did Dominique Alexander outline a coherent defense of what Anthony did. Instead, in addition to lashing out at the victim's father, he suggested that the Frisco School District was actually responsible for Austin Metcalf's death because they didn't cancel the track meet during inclement weather. Yes, that's actually what he said. Anthony stabbed and killed somebody because it was raining. And it's the school's fault for not canceling the event because of the rain.
That's crazy.
They should have known that when it was raining, they got to cancel it, because if they don't, somebody might get stabbed. You know, this is what the school should have known ahead of time. So he demanded to know why the media wasn't holding the school district responsible for holding the track meet during the rain, as if that explains in any way whatsoever why Karmelo Anthony killed Austin Metcalf. Watch.
Goddamn commercials. I'll never pay you. Psych. Just kidding, YouTube.
I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent or one single board of trustee, why didn't you cancel or postpone? With weather in that magnitude, you couldn't have a track meet in rain or thunderstorm or clouds. Y'all are
there. He's not outright blaming them, but this is the disingenuous way to lie and deceive. And there's blame in his tone of voice. There's blame in his tone of voice. You're not bullshitting anybody. You're blaming. You're blaming.
The media. Ask your journalists, your weather journalists, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all do that research. Because as a person who is the administrator of your children, you are responsible for the safety of the children. And so it seems as if Frisco ISD is trying to push this off.
Yeah, how many of y'all have asked why the school district didn't cancel the track meet? And for that matter, how many of y'all have asked why Austin Metcalf decided to attend the track meet in the first place? You know, if he had never gone, then he wouldn't have gotten killed. And how many of y'all have asked why?
Now, if you're on the white side, and yes, I did say that, there's a white side now. This has worked. Okay, so here we are. If you're on the white side, the Metcalf side, well, if you support Metcalf, you might see that as a little insensitive because the kid is dead. And you're worried about them canceling and you know, they might see that as a little insensitive. And the more this drags on, the more people talk about it, the more people are going to get gaslit because more people are going to make, gaffes like this that get everyone going crazy. But you got to maintain your sanity and not feed into this too much and act irrational or pick up some hatred or magnify the hatred you already got. This shit must stop.
Why track meets even exist as a concept? Is it really even a legitimate sport in the first place?
Huh.
After all, if track meets didn't exist, then Austin Metcalf would still be alive today.
He's being silly now.
So why aren't y'all asking about that? Now, to call this line of reasoning low IQ is an insult to every bottom-feeding microbe that exists in the deepest depths of the ocean. This is probably the most flagrant and ineffective attempt to deflect responsibility from Karmelo Anthony that's possible to articulate while keeping a straight face. And it gets worse when you consider the context of what this guy is saying. The reason he's going after the school district is that they've announced that they plan to expel Anthony.
Oh,
and
really?
Under the circumstances, that's a very reasonable decision. After all, we don't want any more teenagers to be stabbed to death if we can help it. Every school district in the country has very...
That was not fair, buddy boy. That joke right there was not fair.
Strict rules against bringing deadly weapons to school events. And they also have rules against using the weapon to kill another student. But the Next Generation Action Network is not happy with the school district's plans. And so now they are threatening...
Wait a minute, man. Next Generation Action Network. I got a computer. Why not? Why not? Action Network, right? Unfucking believable. Let's see what these people are all about. Let's have some goddamn fun. Next Generation Action Network. Let's see. I'm on their website looking around. I'm looking for something relevant to what's going on right now to look at. So, let me share this. Let me share this. So, this is the Next Generation Action Network. Get involved, contact us. Take action now. There's the fist. Oh, they got a t-shirt. What the? Okay. All right. I'm going to have some fun, goddamn. Y'all doing this silly shit in my world in front of my children. I'm going to have some fun with this. You're not just going to get away with this just like that without me cracking some jokes and ruffling some feathers. So let's do that. All right. They've mentioned George Floyd on the homepage over here on the left. Supports HR 7120. That's probably some bullshit law or something. Oh boy. George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Sign our latest petition. Stay up to date. Join us. Join our next roundtable. Maybe I should do that. Oh, God. This is funny, but not funny. Political education and awareness, community building, strategies, involvement opportunities. What else? Collaboration and idea sharing. Sounds like more of the same bullshit that any foundation or program that they come up with any hood. It's the same old tune. Going back against mothers, against drug dealers, and 1,000 other organizations that never, ever worked. It's just poetry. That's all it is. Well, here they are. I don't see anything. Let me click on something, see what I can find. They got Facebook page, Twitter. What else? Mission and vision. Let's check this out. Mission and vision. Okay. The mission to lobby for social change and equality. Very familiar words right here. To lobby for social change and equality for all, regardless of race, religion, nationality, gender, sex, or age. Does all of that sound familiar? Oh, my God. Just another dumbass acronym, man. Will they bring in millions like Black Lives Matter? Let's keep an eye on these people. Let's see if they're full of shit, just like BLM is. This just looks like BLM in disguise. So what's their vision? To cultivate young leaders driven towards the eradication of social injustice through social, educational, civil, human, and community reform. This is more woke horse shit. I can't believe it. And they've attached this bullshit to this kid that's in trouble. They're going to ruin this. They're going to ruin this. Oh, my God. That's their vision. Donate. You can donate. Oh, wow. Donate. You can have a meeting. You can request to meet with them. Grievance intake form. Wow. All right, so there's their phone number. This is in Dallas, Texas. They even have an address. Next Generation Action Network. Lord have mercy. That donate button is in bright red right up here in the corner. You see that shit before you see anything. You see that before you see the logo. Big bright red button. donate. Oh, NGAN Legal Advocacy Fund. Oh, okay. There's your agenda. I'm going to leave that alone and go back to this guy. All right, let's pick up here.
Threatening the school district. Watch.
We've asked that Frisco do not make a decision in this situation, but Frisco ISD has notified of their intent to expel Karmelo Anthony from school 1 month before his high school graduation. That just shows me that Frisco ISD is trying to push off the blame. The Next Generation Action Network, outside of the legal process, will be.
Wait a minute. He said that they're trying to push off the blame as if they carry the blame in the first place. What are you doing, bro? If you're supposed to be a lawyer, you're going to be the one that's representing them, by the way. You know better, man. What are you doing, man? Did you really think you were going to do this and nobody was going to see through this? Yes, you did. Because you understand how stupid everybody is. Because you saw the last 4 years of bullshit. That's why you're able to keep. But these are different times now, buddy boy. Biden isn't in office. This bullshit is going to die. This kind of shit right here is going to die real soon. It's going to be fun to watch, too. And this might be the case to kill it.
Be going through different avenues regarding to ensure that we fight for the rights of Karmelo Anthony. Okay? So in the next coming days, we will be announcing to the public. We will do direct action outside of Frisco ISD administration office because this is outright wrong. You are getting involved in a process that even the legal process has asked us to respect.
Yes, they're planning direct action outside the offices of the school district because Anthony isn't going to be allowed to graduate.
Wow.
And, Austin Metcalf isn't going to graduate either because he's dead. Woo. But no, the real tragedy is that Anthony won't be able to graduate. He's not going to be able to walk across, the stage and graduate after stabbing and killing another kid at a school event.
You think?
What?
Right?
What an outrage.
You're a murderer.
That's what this Next Generation activist group is focusing on. Their top priority, just a couple of weeks after their client stabbed somebody to death, is intimidating the local school district over a graduation ceremony. They're not interested in mounting a substantive legal defense or convincing anyone that their client is actually innocent. All they're capable of doing is intimidating everybody in their path, whether it's the victim's father or the school district. Now, putting it mildly, that's a sign that these people are not very bright or effective, and they're also deeply, deeply evil. And later on in the press conference, they made their incompetence even more apparent. Watch as Dominic Alexander invokes somebody named Daniel Penna and then claims that Kyle Rittenhouse shot multiple people in the back with an AK-47, none of which is true or makes any sense whatsoever. But here it is.
Because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy.
All right. There we go.
He
started off with the bullshit. Okay. He started off with the bullshit. Now, well, who's he referring to when he's saying these racist bigots? Right? Who's he referring to? Who's displayed racism? Is he talking about the people that suspended him? I mean, you can get suspended for writing graffiti on the wall. Murder is kind of up there with things you get suspended for. He started this off with the racial, that's what he was brought here for. That's what he was brought here for. Benjamin Crump 2.0.
Kyle Rittenhouse shot multiple people in the back with an AK-47, none of which is true or makes any sense whatsoever. But here it is.
Because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy. He should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed whatever.
The fuck did he just say? I think I heard this before.
and all of the Power Boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna, and all of the people.
All right, I'm sick of this dude acting like CJ Memphis from Soldier Story. Dude, come on, man. It's 2025. Y'all ain't got to talk like slaves down south no more. I said it. Come on, man. That shit's embarrassing. God damn. And I hate when people say that Kyle Rittenhouse is some type of racist, or they try to compare his case to anything that's going on with black people. First of all, Kyle Rittenhouse was hired security standing somewhere minding his business and got attacked by a mob. That's a totally different situation. And he was assaulted twice physically. Somebody hit him in his head with a skateboard. If Kyle Rittenhouse did not do what he did, he would be dead. If George Zimmerman didn't do what he did, even though he was out of pocket, he would be dead. This situation is not like that. This kid's life was not in danger, man. And you're trying to compare those two things? And why are black people mad at Kyle Rittenhouse? Kyle Rittenhouse didn't shoot one single black person. What the hell is going on here? Damn it, man. And everybody knows that. These people that they put out here, because Benjamin Crump did the same shit. He did the same thing. And so did every Democratic news network on the planet Earth. They went at Kyle Rittenhouse like he was some type of racist or white supremacist or something. Why? He shot 3 white people. Dumbasses. Man, this world is dumb as hell, man. I mean, really next level stupid. Most of the planet. I'm sorry. This cat is a plant. This dude couldn't finish a crossword puzzle to save his life. And he couldn't win 5th grade Jeopardy. No way in hell he passed the bar. He's a plant. Put here to cause division. With this preacher-ass composure and disposition. To get your emotions with the serious face and the pause and the preacher cadence, the Malcolm X, get the fuck out of here. I feel sorry for this kid's family being duped for this.
Who have claimed whatever their defense was, he should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Kyle Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. Wait
a minute. Whoa.
Liar.
Liar! Liar!
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Nah, fam. I can't let you do that. I can't let you do that, man. Why is this legal? Where you can flagrantly and knowingly lie. It wasn't a slip of the tongue or none of that. He knew what he was saying, man. That kid didn't shoot nobody in the back. My God. And they weren't black. And Carmelo Anthony has been given the same rights as those others. He was given a bail reduction. He raised money on GoFundMe, just like they did. He's literally already been given the same exact rights. But there is one slight little difference. The way you twisting shit up, motherfucker. I don't know how you do this evil with a straight, clean face like that.
Got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything.
Nobody said anything? Nobody said anything.
Liar.
Liar! Liar! Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Dude, everybody said something. Everybody. I'm not even going to get into that. Lying bastard.
So since they tried to come for us.
Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. I just noticed something. wait a goddamn minute, man. Look at the parents leaning on each other and shit and playing the whole, get the fuck out. Your son is alive. What the fuck are y'all doing? Your son, why are they mourning? Your son is home. He's rich now. That's funny. He's alive. And yo, come on, man. Y'all got a new house and a new car. Cut it to fuck.
I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund. The disinformation that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family.
You know, it's pretty incredible to watch. He's ranting about disinformation, and then he states in the same breath that Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 people in the back with an AK-47.
Right.
First of all, Kyle Rittenhouse was not carrying an AK-47. He used an AR-15 style weapon, which is not remotely the same thing. Secondly, Kyle Rittenhouse did not shoot 3 people in the back. In fact, there's a very graphic and iconic photo from the trial, which clearly demonstrates that Kyle Rittenhouse shot Gage Grosskreutz in the arm while he was charging at Rittenhouse with a handgun. Rittenhouse also shot.
That means this is one thing I want to know. People think Rittenhouse is some type of, this is crazy, some type of racist or white supremacist or what have you. I don't know what they say, but how is this kid not like given the key to the city? The people he shot were actual child molesters and felons, convicted. But niggas are mad at Kyle Rittenhouse. I've been on panels just as recent as 3-4 days ago with black people who brought up Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm not making this up. More than 4 people. Not going to say their names.
Another man named Anthony Huber, 1 time in the chest. And the first attacker that Rittenhouse shot, a child molester named Joseph Rosenbaum, was initially hit in the groin, then in the hand and the thigh. Then he was shot in the head and ultimately the back. In other words, in no sense did Kyle Rittenhouse shoot 3 men in the back with an AK-47. Literally no part of that sentence is true. And the most important point in the Rittenhouse case is that all of the people...
Whoa, but wait a minute. I didn't know Rittenhouse went that dude up like that. God damn, say that again?
AK-47. Literally no part of that sentence. And the first attacker that Rittenhouse shot, a child molester named Joseph Rosenbaum, was initially hit in the groin, then in the hand and the thigh. Then he was shot in the head and ultimately the back. In other words, in no sense did Kyle Rittenhouse shoot 3 men in the back with an AK-47. Literally no part of that sentence is true. And the most important point in the Rittenhouse case is that all of the people he shot were trying to kill or seriously harm him.
That is a fact.
But the race hustler wants you to believe that, you know, this guy's fake retelling of the case so that, you know, he can draw a fake parallel with Kyle Rittenhouse and Daniel Penna. But Rittenhouse and Daniel Penna raised money because they were clearly innocent. And that's also to say nothing of the fact that all of these race hustlers who are comparing this to Rittenhouse and Petty, all of them said that Rittenhouse and Petty were guilty. So by their own testimony, they are admitting that Karmelo Anthony is guilty.
Wow.
You can page through the comments on the Give, Send, Go account.
I think that's a little unfair, but he has a point. He has a point. It's a little unfair, though. Give it some time, dude. You're jumping out there a little bit.
For Karmelo Anthony. And it becomes very clear what all this is really about. Here's just a handful of representative comments that were posted on the Give, Send, Go. All of these comments have several likes, indicating that they're popular in the community. And also importantly, all of these comments are from people who actually donated money. So these are not just random Twitter trolls or random internet trolls. These are people who gave money.
Wait a minute. Where are these comments from? Did he mention where they're from?
They are admitting that Karmelo Anthony is guilty. Okay. You can page through the comments on the Give, Send, Go account for Karmelo Anthony.
Okay, on the account.
And it becomes very...
So these comments he's about to read are from his GoFundMe, Give, Send, Go, whatever it's called. These comments are actually on there. So I've never been on there. I'm assuming that you can leave comments when you donate money. So it's like more than just a donation app. Well, let's see.
Clear what all this is really about. Here's just a handful of representative comments that were posted on the Give, Send, Go. All of these comments have several likes, indicating that they're popular in the community. And also importantly, all of these comments are from people who actually donated money. So these are not just random Twitter trolls or random internet trolls. These are people who gave money, in some cases, you know, a good little chunk of money, and then left a comment explaining why they gave money. So I'm going to read a couple of these comments. Quote, these white people can die mad like they ancestors did. Quote, these crackers need to understand that we are not our ancestors. Die mad like they ancestors.
Whoa, wait. These white people can die mad like they ancestors did. Whites have been obsessed with black people for years. It's 2025. The hate is embedded into their DNA at this point. Wow. They don't know if they love us or hate us. LOL. Too bad, because we don't care. Wow. So listen. Sometimes people just say shit online to mix up the pot a little bit and get some feelings rubbed. Because I've sat in a room and watched people do this like for hours at a time, back and forth with other people, and it's just saying all kinds of wild stuff that they don't actually mean. An anonymous giver making a statement like this, I'm going to say they're genuine in their hatred. I'm going to assume that. I could be wrong. But look at what they say. Died mad like the ancestors did. I want to know what period is he talking about, or is he talking about like European wars? Because he can't be referring to slavery, because everybody knows how that turned out. I really would like to know what they mean by that. And obsessed with us, look, man. Black people have a global swag, if you will, that it's just a little bit different than everybody else's, and it's kind of flavorful. And people are attracted to it. People of other races. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not culture vulturism. We do things that everybody else do. We eat French toast. We eat French toast. We drink wine from European countries. We indulge in other people's culture. We are not vultures for it. All right? Get this culture vulture shit out. We're all here together. Nobody going nowhere. We're going to do what each other do. We're going to even tell jokes and mock each other about it. It's fun. But vulturism? When you see Chinese kids breakdancing, why are you getting mad at that? You know where they got it from. It should make you happy. Kobe Bryant grew up watching me play on the basketball court. He shoots like me a little bit. Do I think he owes me a ring? Fuck no. Damn, I hate this kind of shit, man. 2025, y'all still doing this dumb shit.
Did. Quote, these crackers need to understand that we are not our ancestors and they will reap what they sow. I hope the knife made a full recovery.
Woo! Wow. I'm donating again after seeing the need for additional protection. Hey, you know what though? There are some white dudes out. There are some white people out here. You know, I'll assume there's maybe a few. I haven't seen no evidence of it, but I'm sure it's somewhere. They're probably getting threats, and because you know the internet gets kind of wild in comment sections and stuff, so they're probably getting some nasty stuff said to them. But all right, I ain't mad at nobody protecting themselves, especially when some wild stuff is going on. All right, but you kind of caused some of this, man. The media and some of your reactions, the family and the this lawyer fool, y'all kind of caused some of this, man. These crackers need to understand we are not our ancestors. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? What are you going to do different? You yourself, Jeremiah, you're not going to do anything. Malcolm X didn't do anything. Nobody's ever going to go out and kill nobody. There's not going to be no revolution. You're going to shut the fuck up and you're going to pay taxes tomorrow. Even if you buy gas. Hope the knife made a full recovery. Wow. Wow. People are acting as if Karmelo was killed. It's true.
Quote, keep doing what you do, young man. You are an anti-bullying hero, a scholar, and a gentleman.
Scholar and gentleman. Okay, so I'm not going to lay into this kid. I don't know him, and I'm kind of on his side a little bit because he's young. Scholar and gentleman. They said he was a letterman. Good grades. Nobody understands why this happened. I got some stories for you, though. Anti-bullying hero. Let's talk about that statement. I'm not so ready to jump on that train yet. I hate bullies. Me, myself, would kill a bully or maim him seriously over something very small. That's how deep my hatred is for him. That's because I'm not as compassionate as most of the world or women and things like that. I believe in harsh punishment. I really believe that mankind only responds to extremes. I hate that that's the way things are set up. I'm not God. I didn't create the world. The way the world is someone else's responsibility, not Reese's, right? We got bullies in the world. I hate them. They're the most evil people breathing. They ruin people's lives, okay? And a lot of things fall under the umbrella of bully. Bully does not stand by itself. Rapist goes underneath bully. Child molester goes underneath the umbrella of bully. Bully is not underneath the umbrella of child molester or rapist. Rapists are underneath the umbrella of bully. So all of those things are under there. I hate bullies more than anything. Even the ones that aren't child molesters and rapists. But am I saying that Metcalf was a bully? No, because I don't know. So I'm not ready to tap dance for Carmelo Anthony for being an anti-bullying hero, because when the video comes out, right? I'm on the side now, but when the video comes out and there's audio and testimony from 2 coaches that were there and dozens of other people, if I fucking find out that he was being a tough guy, fuck him. Fuck him. Hang him. I hate bullies. That's really being a bully. Stabbed in the heart over a push. It depends on how you're bullying. And we could talk forever for 1,000 years on how to gauge that and scale it. And we could come up with a graph and document it to figure out what degree of bullying requires what degree of retaliation and silly shit like that. if we wanted to. We could have a discussion for 1,000 years. Do I think he should have lost his life for grabbing the man's bag? Or maybe pushing the kid's shoulder? No. If he would have pushed the kid and the kid would have broke his jaw and one of his ribs and beat the crap out of him, I wouldn't have been mad at that. Stabbing him is a bit much. My little brother did the same thing, but some guys were bullying him. When he stabbed the guy in his neck. I was not mad at that. That guy was bothering my little brother, and at that time I was so angry I wanted to do much worse than that. So I understand how this goes. No way, shape, or form will I come in at Metcalf at all. At all. I don't think he was being Mr. Super Bully here. I think he just built up the nerve to go approach this kid, and maybe the kid got tough. Who knows? We'll find out. Everybody's speculating to this point. This comment here is jumping the gun a little bit.
Quote, "We are the defenders of our lineage." And then here's a few more just for...
Wait a minute, let me read the rest of that. Defenders of our lineage. This is hilarious. The whole black race, our lineage, is in trouble because Karmelo murdered Metcalf. But we're in trouble. Man, the shit white people have been going through the last 5 years does not make human earthly sense. For them to be conquerors and the Klan and the shit that they've gone through in the last 5 years does not make human sense. This is America, and these flat whiteness immigrants from all over the world has always been open enemies towards foundational. But here we go with the FBA bullshit again. Here we go with foundational black America. I'm going to do videos about history in a minute. I'll come back to FBA.
And then here's a few more just for good measure. Quote, "My white people have put so much evil in the earth, you have the right to protect yourself, Karmelo." Quote, "I love when we stand up for each
that's
other."
a white guy.
Protect yourself, Karmelo.
That's a white guy saying this. This is a woke dude, blue hair, lumberjack shirt. "My white people have put so much evil in the earth. We spread grape, robbery, and red rum everywhere we went. I'm ashamed of my ancestors' actions even to this day." Wow. Kam Yasharahla. It's a Hebrew name. Edomite. Humble Edomite. All right, so this is wild. Couple things here. So your white people have put so much evil in the earth. Let's get something straight about that, right? Let's say all of that is true, right? Maybe it is shit. If the out of Africa theory, which most people believe, meaning Africans got trapped in the Ice Age and became white people, then there's only a few theories if they're responsible for evil. Either the evil was in niggas the whole time, and a glitch in nature just brought it out, or nature, the Ice Age or whatever, has evil in it, which is also natural, right? Because ain't nothing happening that ain't natural. No matter how horrible something is, if it is happening, that means it's natural. Just because you don't do it doesn't mean anything. Just because you understand that it's wrong doesn't mean anything. If it's happening in our world, that means it's natural. Don't get swayed and twisted by that sorcerous English language. Yeah, you can understand something is wrong, but human beings are doing natural evil.
Mello. Quote, "I love when we stand up for each other." And then, quote, "Keep your head up, young king."
Nothing wrong with that.
Now, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of comments like this. One of them reads,
while this commercial is playing, this guy might have been a little selective, you know. There probably was some comments, like hundreds of comments that weren't so.
And then here's a few more just
before he got to those, he got through some comments that weren't. They aren't all like that. Come on now. All right, what's going on with the video? Maybe I have to move on from this. Refresh.
What's your
I don't know what the
daydream
hell's going on now.
on how to kill her?
What he has failed into,
we're back.
He should be
right, actually, in some sense, you lunatic.
It's another video altogether. I'm trying to.
and that we are not our ancestors, and they will reap what they sow. I hope the knife made a full recovery.
All right, we're back.
Watch.
And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else.
Renting a mansion and driving.
Before I even show this, one thing I noticed out of it already. This sister right here does have a real tear coming down her face. I've seen a lot of sisters at these press conferences. Tommy Sotomayor has shown it dozens of times. Dead human being. And they're at a press conference, fake crying with no tears coming out of their eyes. I've seen it. This tear is real, but I don't know, man. Having a family member looking at a murder charge is an emotional strain on a family, man. It is. That's a serious thing. That will traumatize a family. Let me be real here. I think her tears are genuine, right? And I think the woke narrative coming from the parents, they're kind of young. I think this was impressed upon them over the years, and especially the last 5, right? So they might be kind of genuine in what they're saying. They're just wrong about some things and about the way things are. All right? I think these parents, they have to be concerned. There's no way that they're not. All right, but I'm not buying the whole leaning on your husband and the rubbing of the shoulder for the camera and all that shit. That's what bothers me. But this tear is kind of sincere.
Their supporters from posting explicitly anti-white race hatred on their Give, Send, Go. Instead, the mother of Karmelo Anthony claimed that she has not withdrawn any money from the Give, Send, Go as a way of contesting reports from various outlets that they're renting a mansion and driving expensive new cars with the money that they got from the fundraiser. She says that's not true. Watch.
And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly.
Okay. She's not crying about this particular situation right here with she's probably crying about, what was said before this. So here's what could be happening here. No, they haven't received the money yet. But the money is theirs. And they can prove it. Okay, it's an account just like any other account. So, if you did want to go buy an Escalade worth like $70,000 or something like that, or a house, and you can show that you're sitting on 400 something thousand, almost $500,000, you could drive that off the lot because you can prove that you can pay for it. So just because you haven't seen the money yet doesn't mean that you're not going to use it for this Escalade and a whole bunch of other stuff, and of course your legal defense. But don't do this, man. Don't be disingenuous like that. That makes it look bad. It's going to make people turn to the other side when you do. It just looks too Black Lives Matter Patrice colorish. I don't know. This is bad, man.
In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds.
I mean, dude, he's really playing along. He moved the hair and wiped the tear, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Drama, goddamn.
And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a 2-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do.
Oh, of course, God.
We believe in the Constitution. We believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us.
Yes, her son.
Whoa, wait. Whoa. Those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. What is she implying there? Because I hope that's not a reference back to the goddamn Daniel Penny, Kyle Rittenhouse. I hope you've already been awarded the same rights as those two men already. And there's a high probability he will beat this case. Murder one is going to be hard for any court to get in this situation. Now, manslaughter is a given. You literally confessed. So if they wanted to get that, they could. Let's go.
Son put God first, she says, by stabbing a kid through the heart. That's the takeaway here. Wow. We're supposed to feel sorry for these people and pretend to be impressed by their parenting. And then we're supposed to believe whatever she's saying about Give, Send, Go. Now, of course, it's quite possible that she hasn't withdrawn any of the money from the Give, Send, Go. And at the same time, it's possible that this Next Generation Action Network is fronting some money until the check from Give, Send, Go clears. That certainly wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility. After all, this Action Network is clearly fronting some bodyguards and other various amenities for the family.
Wow.
They're uploading footage showing how they're treating Carmelo Anthony, which is like they're treating him like a celebrity. Here's some of it.
Come on, commercials. Damn it, man.
All right, come on, man. Just follow baby.
This kid look a lot like his mom, man. Wow, that's a good-looking family too.
Just stay close, okay?
You see the puppet telling them what to do. This guy has been trained. This guy is a plant. I promise you that. We're going to find out later. I'm sticking to that. The lawyer I'm talking about.
Carmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say? Carmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the victim, to the family of the victim? Why were you armed, sweetheart? Carmelo, why were you armed at school?
I hate when reporters do this.
Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
Carmelo, do you like to say?
You want to say to the community that's donated?
Shouldn't have said anything when the police.
Again, it's just incredible to watch the sheer brazenness of this whole display. They're not just treating this murdering thug like a celebrity, they're also flaunting it. They want you to know that having killed a white kid, Anthony is being treated like, Kobe Bryant or something. They want to send the message to other black kids that they'll get the same treatment if they decide to shank a white student at their school. Now we'll play.
I think this guy's exaggerating a little bit right here. I don't think that was celebrity treatment. This kid murdered somebody, and you got to understand that everywhere he goes, there's going to be reporters bomb rushing him. So, I mean, you got to kind of put some adults around him and fend off the reporters. The news turned him into a celebrity. YouTubers and niggas turned him into a celebrity in social media. Not those people that's with him. You're wrong about that, sir. You're right on some of your stuff, but you're wrong there. This guy, all right, there's a reason why I'm showing his video. Because he's having he's kind of young too. He's having an overly emotional response to this. I'm not mad at him for it because, you know, listen, man, white people have been poked for the last 5 years. And these content creators on YouTube been talking about it and getting dragged for it. Look, man, I'm not one of these black people to say that it's their turn or none of that shit, right? I want peace in the world. I want perfection. I don't want the world to move forward and niggas take over the world and we enslave white people and even the score and then we go on to harmony. No, I don't want that to happen. I want harmony right now while I'm here. Fuck that. While I'm here. If we enslave white folks, I could take another 100, 200 years to get that revenge. I don't have time for that. God damn it, I want Hakuna Matata tomorrow. So I'm not, oh my God. I'm not one of these people to be like, it's your turn. But God damn, y'all be catching hell. I mean, I like chaos. This shit is fun to watch. Nobody's going to listen to me anyway.
Play one final clip from this horror show of a press conference, if only to make it clear how shameless these people are, how little self-awareness they have. Watch as Dominic Alexander attacks Donald Trump and then explains that he's not pulling the race card.
Wait a minute.
Even as he pulls the race card and rubs it in everybody's face.
Oh, wait a minute. Before I even listen to this, attack Donald Trump. Listen to me, dog. If this motherfucker, I promise you I watched like 3 minutes of this video. And I didn't run to watch the whole thing. I decided at 3 minutes in, I'm definitely going to review this on my channel. Because I liked how this guy was starting off anyway. But this part I didn't see. If this fool says anything about Donald Trump right there, it's going to be the bona fide receipt that this is political and a bullshit psyop, just like George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, and all that other shit. Same deal. Cause racial division. Not cause it. It's already been here. But maintain it. Maintain its level so that it never goes down too much. That's what this is all about. All right? And even if there are powerful white people behind this, whites are losers in this too. And that's what's fucked up about it. So whoever is causing this and propagandizing the world for everyone to hate each other, they themselves cannot possibly be racist because they're doing it to their own. It's impossible. They're including everybody. They either hate everybody or just want to fool everybody. And I'm not buying it. I think they just want to fool us. So they propagandize us to hate each other. This guy is feeding in a little bit. I think he exaggerated about some stuff. But he's making good fucking points.
I'm going to say this again. And this is for everybody. Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania.
No, the fuck he didn't. No, he didn't. He sounds just like Joy Reid or fucking Kamala or Michelle Obama or one of them. Oh my God, is this motherfucker about to come at Trump? What is he going to say? I can't wait to hear this shit. What is he going to say?
Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality.
I don't like that they, listen to me, man. This posture right here is spineless to me. All right. I don't like that woe is me posture and that look and like we're so sad and hopeless. Where the fuck is your backbone? If that's how you feel. Stand up tall. Look into the camera with confidence, even though you're in pain. That woe is me shit, spit it out. I hate this shit. Where's that warrior? That never mind.
Every day. It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to.
Whoa.
But we have to react.
Even as he
There's no coherent lesson there. Listen to what he doesn't say anything.
pulls the race card and rubs it in everybody's face. Watch.
He doesn't say anything.
I'm gonna say this again.
Okay.
And this is for everybody.
Because this is important.
Black people in America.
Niggas.
While the current occupant,
Trump,
sits at 1600 Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day.
I still don't see the association Donald Trump to his message in that state. I don't get the two. How does he put the two together? And it's funny. Pay close attention. This shit. Listen to me. This shit is not by accident. So right while this guy is chiming some incoherent bullshit that's got about Donald Trump and what we got to do and all of that, the camera zooms in on her sad face. Yo, this is horseshit. I'm saying it, man. Fuck that. This is bullshit. As he's saying it, look, that shit, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm a Trump supporter. And when he just said that shit and that camera zoomed in, a piece of me shook inside. I felt that shit a little bit. This is an emotional stab right here. They did this soap operas do this. Watch any soap opera that's ever been televised, ever. There's millions of them. When there's a deep emotional moment, the camera zooms in on the facial expression of the actor. I don't even know if the sister knows that the camera is zooming in right now because she's been looking like this for quite some time now. But this looks like fucking theater. As he's talking, this is like somebody edited a documentary or some shit. Get the fuck out of here. I gotta see this shit again. I'm sorry. Let an asshole be an asshole, man.
Sits at 1600 Pennsylvania.
Look at this shit.
Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day. It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to.
Maybe now's the time to mention that Dominique Alexander was convicted in 2009 for shaking his girlfriend's 2-year-old child until the child's brain started bleeding. Only spent 8 days in jail for that crime somehow. Wow. Maybe now's the time to mention that Dominique Alexander was also indicted in 2019 for assaulting a woman. We can also...
Whoa. Okay. 2019, that was only... that's 6 years ago. I don't know how long this guy's been a lawyer. But I'm pausing it because the black panels I've been on been saying that this kid's dad is into a bunch of underhanded shit. So this is quite a story. There's a lot of fuel here. All right? That's why this shit was chosen. I get it now. So this guy's a lawyer, but he's done all this heinous shit. Let's hear it.
Also talk about his legal troubles for allegedly stealing a car, evading arrest, forging a check.
Wow.
Yes, the representative for the Karmelo Anthony family is himself a thug and a career criminal who should have been thrown in prison a long time ago. Wow. This is a situation that's so absurd, so on the nose, that it seems like it has to be parody, but it's real. I mean, this is the playbook that the BLM types are running in order to secure an acquittal for a student who just killed a white student for no reason whatsoever. These are the representatives that they're choosing. Thugs are defending thugs. And the more white people suffer and die, the more they'll gloat in public. That's where we are. All these years after the civil rights era and affirmative action and Barack Obama would supposedly usher in a new generation of equality and racial harmony, we're approaching Rwanda circa 1994 at high speed. And whatever happens to Karmelo Anthony, everyone in this country needs to be aware of that. Open racial resentment is how they plan to get Carmelo Anthony off the hook. That's their legal strategy. And the really unsettling thing, which is even
there's going to be a lot of white people that think that, because that's the way this is looking. Wow.
More unsettling than this horror show of a press conference is that it just might work.
All right. I got another video. All right. Of course, TikTok is going to have some zingers about this. Let me see something really quick. I want you to hear white people's perspectives on this, though, because they are the ones who might be pushed to lose their shit. I don't think that. We'll see. I want you to give an idea how this is rubbing them. I really need YouTube to act right. So let's do this. Refresh the page. No, this is not the video I wanted.
What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political.
Does this nigga just say failed?
What he has failed into,
oh my God,
is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism.
So there is this guy, his name, he goes by Minister Dominique Alexander. Now, from what anyone has figured out so far as I've seen, he's not an actual minister. He thinks he calls himself a social justice minister. That's not a.
Whoa. So, is he a lawyer or not?
Real thing. He is apparently an attorney.
Okay.
He is now an attorney for Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony is the young man who stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart and killed him. Died in his twin brother's arms. It's just unimaginable. We've showed you this tweet, so let me read this. It'll set us up here. This is from last week. Karmelo Anthony is safe at home. This moment is a reminder that a community united can never be divided. The journey ahead is long, but today we celebrate a victory for justice, for family, and for the power of people coming together to protect our youth. Thank you for everyone who stood with us. The fight continues, but tonight Karmelo is at home. Leave that up for just a second. I just don't even know what to say about this. Look, everyone has the right to a fair trial. Every citizen of America, I know that confuses certain senators from Maryland. Everyone has a right to a fair trial. Everyone has a right to defend themselves. Everyone has a right to a lawyer and all of those things. But with this line, the journey ahead is long, but today we celebrate a victory for justice. He killed a kid. Nobody's debating that. For family and for the power of people coming together to protect our youth. Well, our youth weren't protected because Karmelo Anthony right there murdered Austin Metcalf in cold blood. So then this video, I saw this, I think on Friday, there was a press conference that this social justice minister, Dominique Alexander, held for Karmelo Anthony. And Jeff Metcalf, who is the father of Austin Metcalf, who within 24 hours of his son being murdered in cold blood, he said that he basically exonerates this kid, right? Like he was just like, I'm not going to be angry at this kid. It's unimaginable. It's actually unimaginable that he could do that within 24 hours of his son being murdered.
Yeah,
like forgave this murderer named Carmelo Anthony. Well, then on Friday, there was a press conference that this social justice warrior had, this Dominique Alexander guy had with Carmelo Anthony. And Jeff Metcalf, the father who forgave his son's murderer, showed up to the press conference and then listened to what this guy said about him. This is beyond the pale. There's almost nothing that I can say about this.
And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives
This guy can't
that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism.
I literally have no idea what this dude is talking about. He's basically explaining. I mean, it's hard to understand anything he's saying, but it sounds like he's trying to say that the politicians or someone is mixing his kid up in a racial basket and attacking him some type of way. I don't know what the hell is going on. Is he talking about the comments on social media? Is he talking about Fox News? Like, you're the one making it racial.
Have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop about this case.
I'm actually almost speechless. I don't even know how to analyze that properly. That is one of the most evil backwards things I have ever heard. The father shows up to the press conference. He wasn't attacking anybody. He wasn't screaming or anything else. He forgave.
Oh, that's what he's talking about.
Within
dad.
24 hours, who murdered his son. This man has the gall to say it was disrespectful that he showed up, to impugn his character. He says that tells you everything you need to know about his character.
Wow.
It's inappropriate to be near the family. The man who forgave the kid for killing his son. Actions speak louder than words. Well, you're right. You got that one right. An action. You know, it was an action. An action was stabbing his son in the heart. A word was saying, hey, you're actually sitting in the wrong section. An action was murdering the guy. And then, of course, he links it to bigotry and racism. I mean, this is, I'm telling you guys, this feels to me like the thing that they're going to do for the midterms. This case is going to just be running throughout the system, and people are going to take all sorts of crazy positions on this. And just remember this, they're going to make this like America's white supremacist state and blah, blah, blah. They're going to make this kid into a hero. They're going to somehow try to make the kid who is dead and the family the bad guys, which is exactly what that guy did right there. And actually, there's more on that, again, from this fake minister, Dominique Alexander.
I asked, because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Cal Rittenhouse had.
Oh, same shit.
Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was, he should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Cal Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got.
He said that with all that feeling, like he's really saying something that's true. It's more of the same lies. Look, I'm going to change the tune a little bit. Let's see what TikTok has to say.
Came out with a statement regarding his thoughts on the Karmelo Anthony case, and to all those white supremacists that jumped in my live and said I was a terrible law student because I was one of the first creators to tell y'all that Karmelo Anthony was actually robbed under the Texas Penal Code 29.02. But since you won't listen to me, let's see if you listen to an official judge.
And they try to take it again from him. That's a robbery. In other words, the taking of the property of another by use of force or violence. He resisted the robbery, which is a felony, and that would morph the whole thing, the killing, into a felony murder situation. If you have a felony murder thing, the people who implemented the underlying felony become responsible for the consequences. For him.
Whoa. Whoa. So it takes Judge Joe Brown to bring a new perspective into the conversation. So I'm pretty sure this is going to get out there. I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet on YouTube, but so the next thing is going to be Metcalf was robbing Karmelo Anthony, right? So I'm gonna let Judge Joe Brown break this down one more time. Then I'm going to add. Listen.
Another by use of force or
all those white supremacists that jumped in my live
Listen
and said
carefully.
I was a terrible law student because I was one of the first creators to tell y'all that Karmelo Anthony was actually robbed under the Texas Penal Code 29.02. But since you won't listen to me, let's see if you listen to an official judge.
and they try to take it again from him, that's a robbery. In other words,
See, I didn't hear what he said before. He said they tried to take it again. Does that mean that they tried to take it and then he resisted and then they tried a second time? Because he might be on to something. But I'm going to add.
words, the taking of the property of another by use of force or violence. He resisted the robbery, which is a felony, and that would morph the whole thing to killing into a felony murder situation. If you have a felony murder thing, the people who implemented the underlying felony become responsible for the consequences. For instance, if there is a proprietor, a manager, or an employee in a liquor store, and some people come in to hold up the liquor store, and there's a shootout, and one of the bullets fired by the proprietor, the manager, or an employee miscarries and kills an innocent person on the sidewalk. Well, under the felony murder thing, the employee, manager, or whatever is not charged with the homicide. The people who are charged with the homicide are the ones that started the robbery.
Okay. Meaning that someone was robbing that store, and security shot at the robber and killed someone, outside on the sidewalk by accident. The person robbing the store would be held responsible for the dead person on the sidewalk because their action caused the security guard to draw his weapon. So he's saying that could be used in this situation because Metcalf was robbing Karmelo of his bag. Now, the judge is on to something. Law is law. The question is, was Metcalf robbing him? Would that be considered in Texas law as a robbery? The tape will show and the audio will show. Because far as I know, he went to grab the boy's bag and really didn't get a chance to do anything with it. Take it with him, or maybe he was going to throw it to the side. I really don't know. I got to go back and look, actually. I'm not going to speculate. But will they be able to prove that Metcalf was committing a felony robbery? That's interesting. This is going to be the trial of the century.
So in this case, you have a party that starts a robbery. 2, allegedly, you have a killing that results by the would-be victim of the robbery. So what happens is, under the felony murder theory, the person that's charged with the homicide and the robbery is the survivor. In this case, one of the would-be, should-be co-defendants to the robbery, if that's the way the case is cast. The whole thing about the $1 million bond is absolutely ridiculous because under the Fifth Amendment, bonds shall be reasonable, and reasonable has been interpreted for the last 230 years by the U.S. Supreme Court and most appellate courts as meaning simply enough to ensure that a person shows up until the charges are disposed of. No.
So this is interesting because, I mean, shit. Is what'd be funny? You know what would really make my day? Is if somehow they charged the other Metcalf brother with robbery. That, oh my God. I wonder if I'm the first person that said that. That would make life worth living. If this could get so crazy that they charge the other Metcalf brother with robbery, for attempted robbery or something, for trying to take Carmelo Anthony's bag. That's basically what Judge Joe Brown has just said. That the other person is committing a felony. They said his brother came up with him, so that makes his brother a co-defendant. God damn it. I'm having too much fun with this. And people are in pain. Hey, shit. Listen. Oh, my God. I need that to happen. I need that to happen. I need enough shit to happen so I can make 10, 15 videos about this one case. Man, that would make my day. Bring the Metcalf twin up on charges. Even go arrest him. Kick his fucking door in. SWAT his house. Kick his door in. Put it on video. Oh, rough him up a little bit. Man. If I was the one behind this psyop, having a little fun now, that's what I would do. Let's get some more comments from TikTok. I'm pretty sure there's some craziness on here. Let's see.
It's disgusting that y'all are so racist that Austin's father, Jeff Metcalf, has to make a public statement cussing y'all out, saying that he doesn't agree with the way y'all are defending his son, spreading lies about Carmelo Anthony's family, the same way y'all spread lies about Emmett Till, the same way y'all spread lies about Trayvon Martin. You have right-wing blogs and others on social media mad that Austin's father isn't racist. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all do not care about that kid's life. You have white supremacist Proud Boys telling Austin's father that he is a weak man and creating more Austins by not siding with Klansmen and perpetuating a race war. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? It's disgusting.
Well, this guy is fed into that part of the psyop. The other part, where the white supremacists come out and do what they do. It's all part of the plan, fool. And you bit it.
We have some big news in the Carmelo Anthony case. Representatives for his family state that he has been moved to an undisclosed location.
Oh!
This is for his safety following several threats he's allegedly received over the weekend. And in addition to Carmelo Anthony being moved to this secreted location outside of where his family currently lives in a gated community in a $900,000 home.
Wow.
This marks the third time a member of Austin Metcalf's family has been the victim of a swatting incident. Now, this information came to the media.
I was joking about the swatting. Do you mean to tell me that some of Metcalf's family has been swatted? Whoa.
It's disgusting that y'all are so racist that Austin...
Wait a minute.
We have some big...
No. Hope I spell Metcalf correctly. Unbelievable. Wow. Okay. So the Metcalf, I'm behind as usual, but I'm definitely going to watch some of those videos. We're not done yet here. So let's go.
Big news in the Carmelo Anthony case. Representatives for his family state that he has been moved to an undisclosed location. This is for his safety following several threats he's allegedly received over the weekend. And in addition to Carmelo Anthony being moved to this secreted location outside of where his family currently lives in a gated community in a $900,000 home, this marks the third time a member of Austin Metcalf's family has been the victim of a swatting incident. Now, this information came to the media through Minister Dominique Alexander, the representative and spokesperson for the Anthony family. In addition to this release to the media, there were images released of the mail that has been sent to the Anthony family. Now, while it appears the Carmelo Anthony family still has private security and Carmelo Anthony himself has been moved to this secreted, undisclosed location, the Metcalf family appear to still be living in their homes without any private security.
Wow.
After being swatted 3 times. And the threats are going all the way around, even so much so to the judge who reduced Karmelo Anthony's bond.
Wow.
Following this decision by the judge, she herself has received increased security. And it appears there is no cease in the threats being lodged against everyone involved in this case.
Wow.
Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and make sure to drop a follow for more.
Yeah. No sound?
You purposely kept your mouth shut. You might want to continue to doing that because you said a few misstatements.
Are you happy Karmelo Anthony is home? Well, you a sick motherfucker. Every last one of y'all. Yes, I'm very much aware I'm black. I'm very much aware Karmelo Anthony is black. There's something wrong with y'all.
Whoa.
Y'all defending a red rum. It don't matter what's going on. Self-defense is self-defense. But if somebody bullying you, fists do not equate to weapons. Is something wrong with everybody right now? Quit defending stuff based on race because you feel like you got you. Oh, he black. He killed a white person. Oh, we got us one. That's not how that shit works. I have a rainbow plethora of different races in my family. I don't give a fuck what y'all think. I don't get mad at people based on the color of their skin. I look at the character of the person, okay? And at the end of the day, you don't go to a school event.
Martin Luther King.
Are you happy?
I have to say, listen, even
volume is so low on some of these.
Karmelo's place, I guess where he used to stay, new video and pictures have been released, as well as Metcalf's father says he's been swatted again for the second time. Let's get into it. This is weird. This is super weird, bro. If you're showing up at people's houses like this, look at this weirdo. Creep. Look at the total creep. So this is outside the Karmelo
We can't answer
home.
the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Hold up. And you just see that real quick? Let's see.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
And you see like he has like a little smirk on his face. Okay. Like, what do you think you're gonna do coming to these people's houses? What kind? You're gonna have a conversation, and then I guess he spotted after, like just snooping around, creeping like a predator. What the hell?
Wow.
You know, some people just like they lack self-awareness. Look at this. Look at this total creep. Let's find out who this is.
Hey, how you doing, man?
And so now this is, I guess, pizza box deliveries and people, you know, stuff like that.
How are you? Great. Pizza? No, we didn't order pizza. We just been on pizza roll from pizza farm. You don't mind if I see the receipt? Sure.
It's Karmelo Anthony. I'm not sure if that's the right name or not, but try to call that number.
Wow.
Yeah, what's the number that's on there?
What's the number? The phone number up there is
I want to blur the number out, but
yeah, so it was probably a prank order.
Yeah, it's definitely a prank order.
Wow.
Extra green pepper, extra green olives, no shredded provolone, extra banana peppers,
way in hell I'm eating
extra
that pizza.
sandwich ranch,
No way.
ranch dressing.
This is getting deep.
Give me the chair. Thank you, sir. We thought sorry. Hey, look, matter of fact, give yourself a great tip on this.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work that way, but appreciate it.
I'm sorry about that. What's up, man? Who is it?
How you doing?
Yeah, what my wife telling me, who's it?
No, she said that I guess y'all didn't order pizza.
Yeah, who is this again?
Mary.
Damn.
They're probably just putting fake names. Yeah, online.
I'm sorry this happened to you.
Oh man, so fine, bro.
So this video is just about a couple pizza videos. You know, people showing up at the house, they haven't ordered anything. I don't know. That all could be part of the psyop too.
Do yourself a big fat favor and stop caring about Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony, okay? These are two kids that got into a fight at a track meet at a high school, and one kid, the kid behind me, ended up stabbing the other, right? Because he didn't want to lose his spot while it was raining. And regardless of how I feel about this situation or who's in the right or who's in the wrong, it's really crazy that this situation, which ultimately boils down to a fight between two teenagers, is becoming this like racial flashpoint, as if the fact that one kid was black and one kid was white has anything to do with anything. Okay. I think it's so.
Well, young man, welcome to Earth. This is how things are. Sorry.
Ironic too, because people like to blame people on the left for just making everything about race politics, identity politics. That's literally what they're trying to do right now. They're just trying to radicalize you against black people, when the reality of it is that this is a very common thing that happens every day. Race had nothing to do with it.
That is true.
Like if you have a fist fight with somebody, you can't shoot them unless you're almost unconscious and you're about to die.
Wow.
I mean, it has to be reasonable. If your life is in jeopardy, you do have the right to take another life.
That's George Zimmerman.
Dude, you got two young men going like this. Let's take race out of it for a second. Let's pretend they're both black or they're both white. Let's just pretend that their race isn't part of this. It was unreasonable for both of them to act the way they did. Was it more unreasonable to stab the guy? It depends. It all depends. You can use lethal force if you feel like your life is being threatened. But did you use too much force? You can only use that force with which is reasonable. And what is reasonable to a reasonable person. Like if you have a fist fight with somebody, you can't.
He made some good points. I've heard his exact points already, but I think the only thing that Carmelo Anthony has in his favor is the fact that he only stabbed this guy one time. And he did run. He didn't stand over top of him and just keep poking him and poking him. That is definitely premeditation if he'd have done that. But the thing he has against him is he stabbed him one time, but it was a direct hit right to the heart. And there's no way, I don't know, it depends on what this video shows. This video, oh my goodness. I think this video is going to change everything. I can't wait. Might not come out at all. You know what? I'll change gears a little bit. I'm going to go over to Roland Martin's fat ass. I can't stand this SOB right here. I haven't watched this. I love doing this shit random. Let's see what this fool has to say. It's going to be racial. I'm telling you now.
Some of the news conference. This
muted.
is after.
All right, so let me do this. I messed that up. Let me unmute Roland. Go back to here. All right.
Speaking. And again, I mean, this case has been crazy how it has blown up on social media and in conservative media. So watch this.
I agree with you there.
Sarah, she's even came after me. She's even said all of those things.
Who?
And now that the public knows exactly what is going on, I asked, because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Cal Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna.
The more I watch this guy, he does the hand movements, the adjustment of the collar. He does all of the preacher bullshit, and he has the cadence down packed. He just couldn't get out of 5th grade English. It's the only thing wrong. But this is a preacher right here, not a lawyer.
And all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was, he should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Cal Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got that.
I swear to God, if Roland Martin repeats that, if he repeats that, because he has done that before years ago, let's go.
And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything.
Goddamn commercials. Come on.
So since they tried to come for us,
come for you,
I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund. The disinformation that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family. And I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community united can never be divided. And I'm going to say this again, and this is for everybody.
He's so deep.
Black people in America.
Yes.
While the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania.
He coming up on his toes like a preacher and everything.
Don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day.
I want to see more of this guy.
It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to.
He is a character.
We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to.
What?
I ain't pulling no race card. I live it. I'm reminded.
Yeah, it was so horrible, man. Look like you doing pretty good in life. Lawyer. Living the American dream. What's so bad for you, nigga?
Find it all the time that I'm a black man in America. And what y'all just showed to Judge Tucker is just reminded that hate and bigotry and racial reconciliation in this country, we have respected the process. I believe that Austin Metcalf is about to.
No cap, the mother and father are rocking back and forth. They're slow dragging.
Have his funeral.
Look, they're rocking back and forth. I'm a bad person, man. I don't give a fuck.
And I wouldn't dare, even with the information I know, and plenty of people can share that and all that, but we have prevented from speaking about that in these type of public forums. It will come out. They have a more than well-capable attorney, and this family
this guy
will go through a process of being able to get prepared for this trial. So I just say this real quick. This is our final time.
Final time.
Speaking to public and holding a press conference.
Folks, so that was that news conference again. Austin Metcalf's father showed up there. Look at my panel. Dr. Greg Carr, Department of Afro-Americans.
Oh, Roland got a panel. We gonna hear some woke bullshit now. Oh my God, I gotta roll up another one. Oh boy, I live for moments like this. A panel? I know what this is gonna be like. Let's go, Roland. Let's go.
Studies at Howard University. He joins us, Dr. Nola Haynes.
The nigga got on the dashiki. Look at all the books in the background. Look at all the books in the background. Let me chill with the jokes. Let me chill.
Georgetown University. Glad to have you as well out of DC. This is the thing right here, Greg. I'm gonna start with you. And again, when this story broke, and when I was sitting here following it, and it was absolutely white, black, thug. Thug kills white football star.
Thug kills white football star. I haven't seen that title anywhere. That's all this nigga does is gaslight. And let me explain something. Being disingenuous and lying is the same thing. A word that Roland Martin uses more than anyone else in journalism is liar. He calls everyone a liar over and over, while he himself is lying all the time. This is the most disingenuous, racist show in all of media. And this no-neck punk right here is manipulating black people all over America. This guy's a millionaire, dog, from this show.
That was the framing. And so you saw all of this in conservative media. They were all Austin Metcalf, Austin Metcalf, Austin Metcalf, thug, thug, thug. And then all of a sudden we begin to hear Anthony side on what happened. Well, why was Anthony there? Why was he under the tent? Then we find out that it wasn't like this was only your school could be here. All these different accounts, but Anthony was being savaged everywhere in conservative media and in social media.
Well, I mean, Roland, the obvious play is to blitz with disinformation. Near the end there, when we heard the characterization of the mood of the country in terms of Donald Trump as, you know,
another shot at Trump, more preacher cadence,
basically a permanent dealing of the race card. As I was listening, I was thinking how the prosecutor will play this, because all of this is, I mean, to call it tainting the jury pool is an understatement.
Tainting the jury pool? Oh, I'm going to talk about that.
You're basically talking about a proxy race war. And as Brother Alexander said, everybody involved in terms of witnesses, at least it looks at this point, is a minor. So basically what you got is a global game of rock'em sock'em robots. Every witness is a proxy for something else. This is a race war. It's a cold race war at this point. But as Malcolm X said, as long as you have the ingredients for an explosion, you have the potential for explosion on your hand. The clown in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, all of the racists that are stoking the fires everywhere in the United States of America, at any point.
Donald Trump hasn't even mentioned this case. Listen. That's a surefire sign that these journalists are agents when they take shots at Trump, when they're talking about something that has nothing to do with him. They have to keep doing it, even though they've been doing it for 10 years. They have to keep doing this over and over and over. It keeps their show alive. It keeps them alive. Lie after lie after lie. And it's legal in this world. God ain't going to do nothing about it, and the government ain't going to do nothing about it. And these motherfuckers are going to keep doing this until they drop dead. The View, MSNBC, and the rest of them.
Any single incident could be the wick that sets off a national explosion. If this continues finally in the vein that you've been lining out and characterizing by kind of surveying social media and giving us a sense of this kind of visceral race proxy race war, if this continues along this line, can we imagine what a trial looks like? What does jury selection look like? What does the voir dire process look like when the prosecutor and the defense attorneys are asking?
You know what? He has a point there, because I'm going to tell you something. The jury selection on this trial is going to be the most fun out of this entire thing from beginning to end. That goes for verdict, aftermath, riots, and all. The jury, oh my. I wish I would take an Amtrak train down to Texas if this was a public thing and watch this jury voir dire session live. I would love to see this. The faces. Oh my God. Priceless content. Priceless. I would love to see that. Can't wait.
Potential jurors questions. What does the reporting look like as the media carries this? This could become a proxy for the era we're in. And if that happens, man, you're absolutely right. Black media is going to be more necessary than ever, because it's going to be a blizzard of racist interpretation of this, including probably CNN and MSNBC and everywhere else.
this is video, and again, just understand social media, how they've been playing. Again, and one of the people who's really been pushing this is Will Kane of Fox News. Okay, he's been pushing this as well.
Yeah.
So here's social media posts.
I gotta be real though. I saw some of Will Kane's stuff earlier. I'm pretty sure he's done a couple videos about this by now, but Will Kane has said some things that kind of out there. He's emotional.
So Will Kane grabs a clip from Charlie Kirk, who he knows a white supremacist. And so just so y'all, I just need to show y'all juxtaposition of how conservative media works. So again, I showed you the Kirk tweet. Come on, go to my iPad. Come on. This is the Kirk tweet saying insanity, blah, blah, blah. This is revolting, criticizing Metcalf. So Will Kane grabs his video, and Will Kane posts despicable Dominique, and this is 1 hour ago, despicable Dominique Alexander, representing the family of Karmelo Anthony, calls Austin Metcalf. He literally takes the exact same language of Charlie Kirk's tweet. He then says, reveals his character. He had police remove Metcalf. Appalling. This is the video that right-wing folks are circulating. Listen. Give me 1 second.
And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay?
Come on, man.
What he political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop about this case.
Oh, honey girl. So just understand what is going on here.
All right, so that's the Roland Martin playbook. And, well, not necessarily. That's all the the whole left-leaning media playbook, right? They put Trump's name out there, so I'm gonna say I'll put it out there too. All the Trump haters, all the same people. They do the same things. They get a narrative that's false, fake, racially motivated. Make it seem like someone else is pushing the race card while they're doing it in a sneaky way. It's real evil the way they do it, while placing blame at the same time. It's viciously evil. And you pass the narrative around. Tomorrow, I'm pretty sure The View has said it already. Same thing. MSNBC, the usual players, Joy Reid, and the rest of them. Pass the narrative around. And now he's going to piggyback. Same thing right here.
And this has been, Nola, constant. And the framing of it, guilty, guilty, guilty. Here's the deal. He's been charged. He hasn't been indicted. This has not gone to a grand jury. They have not factored in the evidence. You've heard Karmelo sit there and say there are other witnesses there to describe. I'm sitting here. I saw one particular to what Dominique said. Somebody posted this tweet. Don't pull it up, please. Somebody said Austin Metcalf should have lost his life, but his own brother went on TV and said he started the altercation both verbally and physically. Guess what? That video, if he did that video is going to be introduced to a grand jury.
Yeah. You're 100% right, Mr. Roland Martin. But as usual, because this is what you do, you're going to leave out context because you're the best at it. Not only you go above and beyond most people. Not only do you leave out context, you provide your own and lie and are dishonest and disingenuous about it.
I could do battle right now without any Vaseline because
Yeah, that's you, Roland Martin.
you know what? Well, I need some Vaseline. I need some Vaseline right now. You know what?
And I know what you need it for, punk. Because that's what you are.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. So many thoughts are going through my mind right now. The first thing that I want to say is the Karmelo's mother's word.
All three of them stutter to get their thoughts out. That's how you can tell they're being disingenuous. They have to think about what they're going to say. It's not fluid. It's not. They have to. They jump on the first woke, rehearsed line that they can remember and mesh it in with their bullshit and try to just say any old thing that doesn't even make any sense at all. Just make it sound like there's something so horrible happening to us, and keep that same tone and that preacher cadence. It's so fake. I'm so tired of this shit. Hey, I'm going to continue to talk about it, though.
Words are just like stinging right now. The way that her tone changed when she talked about her 13-year-old daughter being afraid to sleep in her own bed. I could not help but to recall these moments, that I heard about growing up. You don't think that in 2025, these are the sorts of stories that we're hearing in real time, but here we are.
So, a lot of the same bullshit I'll be hearing on these black panels. Yeah, you don't think, you just hear your mother and father talk about it, but until you experience it, you know. Lady, 4 years ago, we saw the biggest woke uprising in human history, to the tune of $2 billion in damage and death everywhere. You have lived it. It was bullshit then, and it's bullshit now. Stop fronting like something new is going on. That's awakening us up to what happened to our ancestors. Shut the fuck up. This shit is so fake, man. It's the same cadence. Same cadence.
This is our reality. This is that fictitious 1930s, 1940s, 1950s that they wanted, where they can publicly harangue and hang a Black person because a white life was taken. And I am so sorry.
They were hanging motherfuckers everywhere for all kinds of shit.
That both of these young boys will be, they have been catapulted into history in a way that neither one of them deserve. So that's one part of it. I don't think either one of these boys, should have to be the byproduct of this kind of constant racism, this kind of constant anti-Blackness.
Constant racism and constant anti-Black. This is what I was waiting for. All right. I thought Roland Martin himself was going to, take that jab, but there it is. Constant anti-Black. So, Metcalf dying and the Metcalf family losing a precious, beloved loved one is anti-Blackness because conservative outlets are saying that this guy should be held accountable, and they're speculating a little bit just like everyone else is. But for some reason, what they're doing is racism and anti-blackness. But all this talk of black, and some of the messages that the white guy showed in the first video I played are showing some anti-whiteness. Now, this is a two-sided coin that I'm going to talk about, man, because people ain't being real. You got some racist, no good crackers in this country. But for every one of them, you got a hustler like this that wants to fool everyone into hating all white people with these blanket statements and generalizations. They do it so slick and sneakily. I fucking hate it. I hate them just as much as I hate the Ku Klux Klan.
Yes. Secondly, what I want to say is, Greg, you made great points, and especially about poisoning the jury. We are talking about Texas. You know, we are talking about a red state. We are talking about a part of the world where, you know, Black people are meant to be seen and not heard. And then how dare you take a white life?
Black people are meant to be seen and not heard. This is the kind of shit they've been saying since the Trayvon Martin days. And they've been getting certain people to say it and recite it over and over again. And this Roland Martin motherfucker is one of the top 10. Right along with LeBron James and the rest of them. Keep saying shit like this. White man devil, black people bad, everybody hates them, everybody's against them. It is horseshit. If I was Donald Trump, I would take that black platinum plan and put that shit in a paper shredder. I would start slavery back.
I am happy that they are constantly recalling Kyle Rittenhouse. I am still incredibly offended.
Can you fucking believe this shit? Did she just say Kyle Rittenhouse? I can't believe it. This is unbelievable. I can't believe it. They went back to Kyle Rittenhouse. How dumb are human beings?
Offended by how, you know, many in the MAGA movement, how they embrace that young man, are constantly recalling Kyle Rittenhouse. World where, you know, Black people are meant to be seen and not heard. And then how dare you take a white life? I am happy that they are constantly recalling Kyle Rittenhouse. I am still incredibly offended by how, you know, many in the MAGA movement, how they embrace that young man for taking young lives.
When you hear MAGA, what you're really hearing is Trump. They can't stop doing it. They can't go one show. This is part of the program, part of the dance. All my videos say more theater on it. This is all theater. Even if Trump is part of it. But the people I'm on panels with, who aren't these people, obvious plants that are put here to do this. The people I'm on panels with recite, and I mean word for fucking word, these exact same bullshit talking points and lies. And a lot of them really do believe them. Some of them are really, really disingenuous and know better. They just repeat it to like gaslight conservative people and Trump supporters or what have you, truth seekers or whatever. But they're fake. They know better. But some of them really do believe it. And this sister right here, sorry, man, you're cute and all that. Got the war paint caked on with the natural dreads. But you're full of shit, man. You might as well put on a white hood and cut the eyes out. You're not different. You're the same.
For taking lives just because, you know, when.
Listen to this fucking shit. Let me rewind this again, what she did. This is so foul, man.
How, you know, many in the MAGA movement, how they embrace that young man for taking young lives, for taking lives just because.
For taking young lives and taking them just because. Not because there was a mob trying to murder him, who had already attacked him physically twice, and one of them had a gun. You are a fucking liar.
You know, when I think about Stand Your Ground with Trayvon Martin, when I think about the countless Black lives that have been lost.
How can you mention Kyle Rittenhouse and not mention Trayvon Martin? It is a script that I will hear on nigga YouTube panels tomorrow. And almost all of them know this is lies. Almost all of them. They know it. What is that? What is the name of it? What is that called? That is a black disease. I want to know what that's called. Where you lie like that. And it makes me wonder about all of history. All of it. How long have niggas been doing this?
Lost, right? And then here we have a young white life that is lost. This is going to get uglier for the family, unfortunately. And we also need to figure out a way to not constantly be responding to this. We need to have a strategy of anticipating this kind of vitriol and this kind of racism and stopping it in its tracks. I don't know what the answer to that is. I don't know if
Anticipating it and stopping it in its track, because there's more to come. More of this vicious racism. And it's so bad you don't know what you can do about it. That's what she's going into right now. I don't know what the answer is. That's how horrible it is. This is the bullshit they've been pushing. Man, and you know what? This isn't just a black disease. I take that back. There were so many white Democrats that helped push this, but niggas were the ones that caught it. They're the ones that caught it. I hate that this is happening, man. In my old age, I don't want to go out of the world and grow much, much older with this kind of bullshit still going on. I want things to change while I am here. That's why I hate people like this, because they will keep it going. You are lucky I am not king.
it's messaging. I don't know if it's constantly reminding the public of the facts and the details, and the way that they wanted to make this young man seem like he was from a single mother home and it's broken, and they're you know they're doing the N-word stuff, right? Like he buying stuff, he doing big things with the money.
There's nothing. No,
haven't heard anybody use the N-word. Haven't heard anybody say anything about him coming from a single mom. I think everybody saw his mother and father there together, and everybody knows. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Maybe I overlooked some stuff. Haven't seen any N-words. You know, and they did pop. Well, never mind.
Here's the deal. You cannot message this. You can't. The reality is you cannot anticipate. Well, you can, but you cannot necessarily anticipate how people are going to respond to a particular story. What we do have to understand, there are things that we have to factor in. The reality is, it is still white and black in America. As you were talking, as
because
Greg
of people
was talking,
like you,
I was thinking about a story that took place 12 years ago in another high-income area in Dallas-Fort Worth. And that case involved the son of Major League Baseball player, give me 1 second, jumped, Torrey Hunter. Same thing. I remember the story like it was yesterday. And here's the story right here. Go to my iPad. A grand jury has declined to indict the teenage son of Detroit Tigers outfielder Torrey Hunter in a sexual assault case. Darius McClinton Hunter was arrested in May with 4 others in Prosper, north of Dallas, and accused of sexual assault. a Collin County grand jury indicated Wednesday there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute him. There was a party that took place, and you see it right here. Alleged that McClinton Hunter, co-defendant Garrett White, and 3 boys listed as juveniles were involved in a forced sexual encounter with several girls. Well, what happened at this here? This was a party, white girls, black boy. Story blew up, went crazy. Guess what the reaction was?
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. What was the reaction?
Send that white boy to jail. It was Emmett Till all over again. Didn't indict.
Wow.
Well, what happened a couple of months later?
Another Emmett Till's another name you're going to keep hearing over and over again. When you hear Trayvon Martin, and it often goes like this, you'll hear Kyle Rittenhouse and then Emmett Till later on in the video. I'm not even kidding you, man. I'm not making it up.
Guess what? That son filed a lawsuit in the sexual assault case. Right here. Okay? His son was a star athlete. He had committed to play football and baseball for Notre Dame. He filed a $10 million lawsuit against the parents of several of the teenage girls from the town of Prosper. Now, I don't know what the result of the lawsuit is, but I remember when that story dropped. And guess what? High net worth area, Prosper, Texas. Deion Sanders used to have a massive mansion in Prosper, Texas. It's a high net worth area. That story was black and white. So I just don't think, you can sort of predict what will happen and sort of have a strike squad ready to jump. But this is the reality still in America, Greg, white and black, especially when you're talking about high income areas.
No question. No question. And
now, he's correct. It's white and black. But the key thing you have to pay attention to in that is there are 2 words in that phrase, white and black. It is not one-sided. And I think there are much more blacks talking about white and black than there are whites. And funny thing about that is they outnumber us. Let it go. Let it be. My grandmother and them couldn't change anything. You can't. But you can become a millionaire by crying and lying.
And it's really tragic. We're in the graduation season, and this boy has been expelled, according to the reports that I read about the Frisco Independent School District, under some policy they call Title V. But they do say that he can still be graduated early from some JJAEP program. So he will probably be able to be graduated, if I'm reading the policy correctly, even though he is banned from school property. Looks like he had completed all the requirements, so now it's just a matter of him being graduated. But imagine that, as you say, Dr. Haynes, as you say, Nola, there are 2 young men whose lives are irrevocably changed. One, of course, is dead, and the other faces the fight of his young life. It is a tragedy, and at the same time, because we live in an ongoing,
he honestly doesn't know what to say.
Criminal enterprise called the United States of America, and I call it an ongoing criminal enterprise for the very specific reason that it was born in settler colonial violence, white supremacist, white nativist, white nationalist violence, and despite our best efforts to root that out, and certainly renegotiate the terms of the place.
Of course, he had to visit the past, right? You have to do that.
That persistent white nativism is either going to be, as we heard,
white nativism.
The comment a moment ago in the clip you played, either that's going to be the death of this country, or overcoming it will be the salvation of this country. But one thing is for sure, until that thing that is at the heart of this country is faced and addressed, then it's going to continue to return. If this were 3 years ago, it would be no less tragic, but it might be less explosive. But the simple fact of the matter is that, as you say, Nola, it's in Texas. The governor of Texas, the attorney general of Texas, the Texas legislature, as racist as they have been over the arc of the last generation, is now feeling its oats in a way that if this were this time a year ago even, it would not be the same. This will be weaponized in a way that probably we haven't seen in maybe a couple of generations.
You've already weaponized it. You've literally done it in this video. You've used this story and this opportunity to continue the racist narratives, throw the white man under the bus and make it clear that America's never going to be shit until we get rid of white people or put black people in charge, something that's never, ever going to happen, something that would turn this place upside down anyway, right? If you think about it. So you've just done the same thing. You used this story to do exactly that. You're a disingenuous liar, just like the rest of them. And you know you're doing
it. Simply because these folks are now fighting for their ideological lives. And so what does a grand jury look like? As we say, what does jury selection look like if it gets to a jury? And what does it look like if his defense team, I'm talking about Karmelo Anthony's defense team, comes up with a brilliant strategy, and the facts lay out to the point that the grand jury, if it is indeed brought to a grand jury, chooses not to indict.
Wow. Wow.
Do they have to leave?
I'm here to tell you right now, it does not matter what these witnesses say. It does not matter what's in that video, in these videos that come out, or what's heard on this audio. There is no scenario in the world that is going to make black people put accountability on what this kid has done and take the victim label off of him. Nothing is going. It doesn't matter what that video could show him losing his fucking mind and just and stabbing Metcalf. It would not matter. I'm telling you. Once that racial fire's been lit, there's no putting it out, man. Even when the truth comes out. The proof is the Kyle Rittenhouse comments. That shit happened 5 fucking years ago. Everyone knows it's bullshit, but they still say it and use it. I want to know the name of that disease.
Leave Texas? Do other people get involved in terms of violence? In other words, if we go back to the 1850s, even at the lead up to the Civil War, the little incidents continue to build until these things spill over into something that might just be inevitable. We might just end up having to have a fight in this country. And if we look back in 5 years,
a fight. And listen. That's always part of it too. I mean, every single one of these shows for the last 10, it's the same thing, just remixed a little bit. Blame, cry, complain. Don't go out and do anything or kill nobody to change anything. It's the same goddamn script. And then say, we have to fight. They said, I'm 55 fucking years old. When I was 5 years old, I heard we have to fight. That fight ain't happened yet. Pretty sure I'm going to die. And that fight is never going to happen. Shut the fuck up about a fight and what this. We're never going to have to fight. There's never going to be one. Because the only thing you're ever going to do, you and everyone else, is get on the fucking internet and complain. That was true when I said it 10 years ago, and it's true now, nigga. You ain't gonna do shit. Nobody is. Stop saying it.
10 years or 6 months and say this was another step in that direction, I don't think any of us would be surprised.
Well, I just really need people to understand that what you see playing out is America. White, black, income, all that sort of stuff. And again,
I don't know if you can tell or not, but the three of them are lost on words and doing the whole Kamala word salad shit. There's nothing here with meat on it or substance that they can say. They've ran out of bullshit. Few minutes left in the video. They haven't really done shit. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. And every show is just like this. It's just to keep the racial flame at the same simmer, so that it never goes down. That's what motherfuckers like this are for. And they're so deeply rooted with the evil, they even use a little bit of the truth sometimes. You heard me? They reel you in with a little bit of the truth sometimes. Look at their faces where I paused this. I didn't do this by accident, but I didn't do this on purpose. These looks where I paused this video are looks of uncertainty. These are the faces of people who know they're bullshitting. They themselves are tired of it. That's why they're lost in speech right now and just doing the Kamala word salad. There's nothing of substance to say. You're full of shit. I'm so glad I did this.
How America sees it. White America these folks immediately went to black thug, kills, clean cut, all.
He said that in the beginning. He's ran out.
All-American, football star, white student.
The guy's shaking his head, and it's a show.
That's literally how this was framed. And then, and early on, a lot of black people were not talking about this case. I need people watching to understand.
You're a
New
liar.
York Post, Fox News, they were trumpeting this story consistently. And then you begin to see black people go, hey, hold up. What the hell is going on here?
Liar.
Then you begin to see the response.
Liar.
And then
nigger YouTube and social media hopped on this shit day one. Stop lying, punk.
And again, I don't know if this is from the family. The free Karmelo, and then what was the immediate reaction? Condemnation. How dare they raise money for this killer? Y'all, this is nothing but American history.
He is right about that, though. They did say that.
Playing out. So you can call this Emmett Till. You can
Till.
call this Statesboro Boys. You can call this any number of cases. White boy killed by a black boy. Oh no. Black boy got to go to jail. Got to get the death penalty. But
the death penalty. See the gaslighting? And he had to make sure he used the word white again and black again. Sir, it is you doing the racial bullshit over and over. The words white and black now are trigger words, like the phrase 9/11. Same thing. That's where we're at today. And you're going to keep doing it over and over again. That's why you just recycled and mixed up some more word salad and said the same thing over and over again, because you're lost. There's nothing else left. And here I've paused it again. 3 faces, right? Unsure of themselves, dried out with ideas. It's getting old. I think this shit is dying. 1 million followers or not, whatever you got. This narrative is going, they're running out. They're drying out. Look at them. They don't know what to say.
That's also why there's a legal system. And folks are mad because of Dominic Alexander, and they're bringing up his past. They're pulling up what he did in the past. And you know what folks are doing? They pull up the past of Austin Metcalf's daddy.
You're pulling up the past of old cases like you've been pulling up Emmett Till and all this other shit. You are really, truly lost, sir. You've gotten to the point where you're accusing people of doing things and literally doing those exact things live. And that's how the human mind gets glitched when it's being disingenuous and dishonest. The glitch will appear every time and tell on itself. You just got to be sharp enough to catch it.
All this stuff is going on before our very eyes.
Man.
At the end of the day, it's classic America. It's black and it's white.
Again,
it's race.
Hello, I ended off with black and white. Now,
unless you're almost unconscious,
go
and
back
you're
to
about
TikTok.
I mean,
Austin Metcalf and his daggone brother are bullies. I don't
Wait a minute. All right. Let me take another tote. I'm having too much fucking fun. Did this chick just say Metcalf? I'm not the best speech expert in the world, but come on, man. People are gonna laugh at my fuck up, so I'm gonna laugh at theirs. Did this chick just say Metcalf? Just like that other guy. Listen, white folks. Black people fuck English up. Get used to it. I don't know if we're naturally like predisposed to have problems with English. I know a lot of black people speak perfect English. My mother does, no problems at all. I think fucking English up is fun sometimes, but the people who talk like slaves, like that lawyer, are embarrassing to me. I don't care. You call it North versus South or whatever. That shit's embarrassing to me. Anyway, a couple more TikToks, then I'll change the tune. But this chick just said Metcalf or something. Let me.
Austin Metcalf and his daggone brother are bullies. I don't care what y'all say. And I try to be nice in my other videos, but what I don't
One more
like is
time.
daggone out there. Austin Metcalf and his daggone brother are bullies. I don't care what y'all say. And I try to be nice in my other videos, but what I don't like is daggone out there where Karmelo Anthony lives. They now have to relocate him and his daggone family because of the daggone people. The community want to sit there and constantly harass these daggone people. Y'all sitting there sending them an obituary of Austin and saying what? Because my whole thing is like, we're not fighting hard enough. Because why is Zimmerman still sitting around, walking freely, living in the...
Fighting hard enough. All right, so apparently this is the type of person that probably just watched the Roland Martin video. That's how she's acting anyway. There's plenty of videos out there like that to give you this kind of reaction. Woke, bullshit, facts all wrong. Incredible, emotional. This is, hey, Roland Martin said it. This is America, yo. This is what it is, and I love it. I want as much racial chaos as possible. I want these dumb people to overheat and spontaneously combust right in front of me, white and black. Keep it up, please.
The same daggone place that he lived in when he did what he did to Trayvon Martin. Y'all colored people ain't go hard when it came to that. So why y'all sitting here going hard for a daggone bully? And then his brother is still walking around too, when his brother should be locked up as well. Y'all got me so messed up.
Whoa! His brother should be locked up. What the fuck for? Stealing his bag for 1 second? Well, the judge did say it was robbery. Wow. Yo, listen. I'm telling you, when black people get racially charged, sometimes the younger ones, their common sense and sense of reality goes out the goddamn window, and they start saying shit that's completely unfair. And yo, what is this kid? I don't understand. How could you include that in your rant?
Trayvon Martin. Y'all colored people ain't go hard when it came to that. So why y'all sitting here going hard for a daggone bully? And then his brother is still walking around too, when his brother should be locked up as well. Y'all got me so messed up. Leave that daggone family alone. And I honestly don't care who don't like what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, we already know it was self-defense when it came to daggone Karmelo Anthony protecting himself against Austin Metcalf and his daggone
She said Metcalf again. And just a note, this chick has humongous knockers. Just a note, humongous knockers. I said it.
The brother, the twin brother, Harper, whatever the hell his name is. That's why y'all ain't heard this boy speak. He knew exactly what happened on that day. They know exactly what they was trying to do to daggone Karmelo Anthony. I'm not going to be quiet now because now.
She said they knew exactly what they was trying to do. What is that, sister? Were they trying to kill him? Is that what you're saying? Because he killed him. Deadly force. What are you saying, man? It's yo. There are so many black people on the. Wait a minute. There are a lot of black people up and down the internet, and in their rants, nothing wrong with ranting, right? But in their rants, they're making it seem like this kid deserved to die. I'm really going to say that. That's really the vibe I'm getting from some of these rants, man. I'm telling you. Everybody's saying the same thing. The people that I'm on panels with are different people than these people that are making these videos. Different people from the panel on Roten Martin show, and they're all saying the same exact thing, using the same verbiage and everything. This is sad, man. All of these psychological operations that they throw at us, they always work. They don't work on everybody, but they work on enough people to cause problems. Damn, it'd be nice if we could just get people to wake up and like ignore this shit. I know that's impossible, but it'd be a nice dream, right?
Now I keep seeing. I also seen the mom last week had to freaking make a statement on behalf of her family. Like she don't have other little kids that they gotta sit there and protect from y'all freaking these color people that think y'all freaking is some big and bad jokers. If y'all don't go sit y'all daggone asses down because y'all don't fight this daggone hard for anything else when it comes to y'all skin color. But when it comes to a daggone our color people unaliving y'all for basically self-defense and protecting ourselves, y'all want to sit here and freaking try to harass and basically try to do all kind of things when it comes to situations like this. Y'all got to be out of y'all motherfucking mind. And I'm not going to sit here and keep on seeing stuff on the internet and acting like it's okay because it's not okay. I'm sick of y'all this color supremacists because that's exactly what y'all are at the end of the day. Y'all need to go freaking have
this
two
color
seats
supremacy
before we be out here doing what we got to do. Stop on y'all. Austin Metcalf.
Wow.
We have some big news in the Karmelo Anthony case.
Oh, this one already.
I just took a double look at the Karmelo Anthony fundraiser that they have going on GoSendMe because GoFundMe took the page down. And I thought it was interesting that they actually said, I thought it was so disrespectful that they actually said on this thing, and I have the proof for you because I wouldn't believe it, but that they're actually, thank you for supporting us in this fight against basically injustice. So they say they're basically saying they're being unjust. That's just like black people. Black people are some of the most victimized people, period.
Yes.
Out of all the other races, we are the most victimized. We are always the victim. No matter what we do, we could be committing crime.
I've heard hundreds of people say that. We're the victim. But listen, every time someone says that, and when I say every time, I mean every single time. When someone says that, if there's a panel of people, somebody on that panel is going to respond, yeah, but we've had the most shit happen to us. That also isn't true. And I'm going to make a video about that one day. Transatlantic slave trade isn't even in the top 5 human atrocities that have happened on this earth. But I'm going to let this guy finish.
We could be running from the police and we become the victim, right? So her son killed somebody, a child with his whole life ahead of him, and they are the victim. Her son is the victim, not the Austin family.
Incredible.
They're not the ones the victim. No, we are the victim. I just took a double look at the Karmelo.
So it turns out this whole time, Karmelo never had a knife. He had something, something to clean his cleats with, like a cleat cleaner.
Y'all gotta at least wait until the police reports come out before you start posting.
This nigga said a cleat cleaner. Nigga, when these videos come out, I want to see a cleat cleaner. You just made that the fuck up.
Post and shit like this. This is all available. You can download this. But there are at least 3 different instances in which the officers reporting on duty mentioned a knife. The male took out a knife and stabbed Austin.
They literally found the knife.
I just want to say I'm super proud of y'all and super grateful to everyone who took it upon themselves to donate to that GoFundMe I shared a couple days ago for the family of Breon Allen Jr., the 7-year-old African-American boy who lost his life due to gang violence most recently. And I shared that because I was trying to prove a point, just how little care, the mainstream media and even society has for these cases, because the perpetrators of this tragedy were Black themselves.
Wow.
So when I shared the GoFundMe, it was first at $5,500 when I discovered it. So I actually shared the link to it. And the good news is that now, as of this video, we're north of $12,000. So I want to say a huge thank you to everybody out there who chose to be generous and actually donate to someone who I would argue we can all agree is much more deserving than the individual who's currently receiving so many donations right now for committing such a terrible act himself. And
Wow, he hasn't said his name, but you know what he's talking about. I ain't gonna lie, I did not know this video was going down that road, but kind of makes sense. So he did give it a good example of what I talk about a lot. Really vicious, heinous things happening to innocent, tiny kids in the Black community. Hundreds and hundreds of times. The national news doesn't make a big deal out of it. Neither do these GoFundMe loving ass niggas. But the man is correct. We just gave a murderer $500,000. He's received more money than probably the last 1,000 children that have been killed in the Black community by niggas. This man has made a good point, and he is correct. I am not taking sides against Karmelo Anthony, but when I hear the truth, I will agree with it. I don't like what's going on.
Who I'm talking about with this. So thank you to those of you out there. If you are interested in donating, you can still do so. I'll put the link in the video somewhere so you can find it and you can tap on it and go straight there. But consider supporting a family that actually deserves the support. And we need to actually do something more to help more families like this and stop supporting those individuals like the Karmelo Anthonys of the world.
I just hope that this guy really cares about that little girl and isn't just doing this to be a coon, to rub it in the face of the Karmelo supporters. I can't get inside of this man's head. He sounds sincere, but so does everybody else. Even Roland Martin's punk ass. This could be bullshit too. I would not have done this, but I ain't mad at it because I can't.
Whoa, and I was saying with y'all like to check this out. We'll go again if it ain't one thing, it's another. Listen.
Country.
Keep your eye on Texas. Keep your eye on Texas.
Uh-oh.
This thing between Karmelo and Austin is taking legs of his own now.
Yep.
When I tell you, this motherfucker here gonna start a race war, boy. Listen.
Uh-oh.
You got folks that normally don't show their true colors. They hide it behind closed doors. You got motherfuckers that talk among friends and family but never say the shit what they say in the house out in public. Are now making videos and talking real reckless. I'm telling you, shit getting real. Listen. Y'all are letting y'all motherfucking emotions cloud your fucking judgment.
I said it.
I'm telling you. If you stroll, all you see is this shit here. All on mainstream media, all you see is this. You know what I'm saying? An incident that happened between 2 young men.
All right, so
Turn motherfucking tragic.
I think he's about to take us to church on that. So I gave you Roland Martin. I gave you TikTok. I gave you some YouTubers. This shit is real, man. This is the next big show. This is the next big Ringling Brothers event for America. And I'm tuned in. I'm going to give my girl Melanie King a shout out. Show one of her videos. She is a dragon. The way she cuts these videos up. This is not relevant, but kind of. We changed the tune for a minute.
Is able to prove that those accusations are false. But in the meantime, it ruins that person's life. I think the same could be said here. If they fake that.
All right, let's see. Okay, this is a burning cross.
This type of hate, this type of bigotry has to be rooted out, stamped out, and addressed. And that person should be held accountable because the next time it could be someone's life.
Wow. Was that Angela Yee?
Well, buckle up, folks, because today we're diving headfirst into a story that'll make your blood boil and your head spin. The FBI has just blown the lid off a so-called hate crime in Colorado Springs. A burning cross, a defaced campaign sign, and a whole lot of crocodile tears from activists who thought they could pull the wool over our eyes. And who's left red-faced and scrambling for excuses? None other than BLM and NAACP, groups who were all too quick to fan the flames of outrage before the truth came knocking. This wasn't a hate crime. It was a hoax.
Wow.
A deliberate, calculated, despicable lie.
Jussie Smollett all over again. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit on this video.
And this shit right here look like stage 4 some shit. Because
I'm going to do a story about that myself. But thank God for Melanie King dropping some of these bombs and putting us up on the news that we can't catch up to all the time. There's so much shit going on, you can't even catch all this news. Give a couple minutes to this, if I can find the story. Our government is talking about time travel, if you can believe that. Crazy times, man. Good time to be alive, though. Damn, I hope I can find this story. All right, time travel. Here we go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Come on, y'all. This should do it.
Less than a week after the funeral of 17-year-old high school student.
This is the
story.
All right, I want to talk about time travel.
Here we go.
I'm looking forward to this all day. I've been looking forward to talking with Ashton Forbes all day in the secret technology. Yes, the White House admitting this week, on the record, by the way, that we possess the technology to manipulate time and space. In other words, time travel, teleportation technology, like the very same technology that was used to make MH370, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, disappear in thin air on camera. And by the way, the people that are like, oh, that video's been debunked. Shut up. No, it hasn't.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Say that again, brother.
Flight 370 disappear.
No.
Used to make MH370, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370.
Wait a minute. I got to get all that and remember it because I am absolutely going to look that up because I didn't know anything about that. Now, let's hear that one more time.
MH370.
MH370. MH370. I think he said Malaysian Airlines. Malaysian Airline. Whoa. Let me see something. What's the rest of that?
Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 disappear.
Flight 370. This can't be real. If I find something on this, that would be a lot of fun. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Okay. There's some YouTube videos about it. I'm going to check that out before I shut the stream out. Let this guy finish though. We are going to find out what happened with this Malaysian airline. I didn't know anything about this story. I'm late on everything though. That's how it goes.
In thin air, on camera. And by the way, the people that are like, oh, that video's been debunked. Shut up. No, it hasn't. In fact, it's been the opposite. It's been bunked. It's not been debunked. And the man who helped really uncover the story from the beginning is Ashton Forbes, one of our favorite guests here on the show. I call him a physicist because he is. Citizen journalist and one of the most prolific individuals in this space. And just thrilled to have you on the show. Ashton, great to have you. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thanks, Clayton. Feelings mutual. It's always fun to talk to you.
Blast. I hope we have fun here. I'm really looking forward to this. So this is the reason I wanted to have you on is because of this bombshell. There's a couple of stories over the past couple of weeks that kind of came out. I want to play this first soundbite from General Quast. Now he worked in Colorado, training individuals, and he saw this technology basically, I think, on the desks of Air Force engineers.
Wow.
In the United States Air Force. And it was basically admitting that we have these incredible technologies that allows us to teleport, transport in ways that you wouldn't blow your mind. So let me just play a few seconds of this. Watch this one.
The technology is on the engineering benches today, but most Americans and most in Congress have not had time to really look deeply at what's going on here. But I've had the benefit of 33 years of studying and becoming friends with these engineers and these scientists. This technology can be built today with technology that is not developmental to deliver any human being from any place on planet Earth to any other place in less than an hour, to deliver Wi-Fi from space where you never need a cell tower to connect, to deliver.
All right. Well, that's where you lost me. When you get to talking about space, until someone alive can prove space to me, there's no more talk about space. I'm going to let you finish anyway.
Yeah. And then this just happened over the past 48 hours. Trump White House official of science and technology policy director Michael Kriatzos
Trump guy
said that we possess the technology that can manipulate time and space.
Wow.
Our passenger planes are slower than they used to be. Our trains crawl compared to those in other parts of the world. Our cars do not fly.
Facts.
Advances have not stopped, but something has gone wrong. Stagnation was a choice. We have weighed down our builders and innovators. The well-intentioned regulatory regime of the 1970s became an ever-tightening ratchet, first hampering America's ability to become a net energy exporter and then making it harder and harder to build. We seem to have lost focus and vision, to have lowered our sights and let systems and structures and bureaucracies muddle us along. But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
Wow.
They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow and improve productivity.
So he's basically, and I love what you.
Now, I got something to say about that. Now, it's going to sound kind of crazy. When I was a little kid and I saw Star Trek and I saw those flip phones, I never in a million years thought that any of that was possible. Now today, after seeing 2 airplanes hit a building and watching the pandemic shut down the planet in one day, and literally seeing a spaceship outside my window when the drones were going crazy in New Jersey, I think anything is possible. Manipulate time and space. This is what I think they mean by that. So you've had maglev trains. I remember maglev trains 45 years ago in, I don't know, Japan, I think, going 200, 300, 400 miles an hour, right? That's 35 years ago. So the kind of technology that might exist now might be able to propel an object maybe 10 times faster than that, which would allow you to literally manipulate time, if you understand how the world works and the clock that we live on, and the time, if you look at your watch, that it takes for us to cover certain distances, if you cut that time by a minute fraction, you would literally have manipulated. Let me give you an example. So I'm not going to get to the sophisticated math of a flight and a clock and all of that, but it takes several hours to get to California. And California is 3-4 hours behind or in front of us, whichever it is. There's a difference. Several hours of difference. If you design a machine, maglev machine or some type of machine that can move a human being several thousand miles an hour, you would literally get to Los Angeles in a few seconds. So you would have cheated time and space, because when you get there, it's going to be 4 hours later on Earth, but on your watch, it's going to be a few minutes later. Which one is the truth? That's a whole nother video. So when you hear talk of manipulating time and space, it's not as crazy as you think it is. You're thinking of some mystical bullshit that you've seen in a Hollywood movie where a spaceship goes into this tunnel of light and comes out 1,000 light years away. No, that's not what they're. It can't be what they're talking about, because space is bullshit. But manipulating time and space, if you use the right speed, can be done. What would be the effects of that on the human, on the world itself, on time? I have no idea. But I don't like the way this sounds. And let me mention this. A week or so ago, Donald Trump made a statement that if there would be a conflict with China, they wouldn't want it with us because we have weapons like no one else in this world could possibly even conceive in their minds. He said that. What does that mean? In the wake of disasters in Hawaii, Maui, right, and California, where people are saying energy weapons are used because there's trees still standing there. A lot of evidence pointing to a lot of craziness being jammed down our throats day after day. They're finding the 10 Commandments. They're finding pieces of Noah's Ark. They're finding cities underneath the pyramid. We can't even keep up with all the monstrous news, right? But they want us all looking at they want us all looking at Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony. Well, time travel is on the table now. I'm going to take a quick minute before I get out of here and take a look at. Here's a video breaking down this Flight 370 conspiracy shit. Right? Let me see which video do I want to play. All right, I choose this one. I'm going to switch over to Rumble in a second now. We're going to look at what happened to this flight, see what these guys are talking about, and then I'm out. All right. Here we go.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into a mystery that's really.
Let me get out of here.
It's captured
quickly so I can get the sound back. Come right back.
You actually sent over a that's really.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into a mystery that's really, it's captured the world's attention for years now. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. You actually sent over a whole bunch of articles, some research you've done. I see some personal notes in here. Looks like you're really trying to crack this case yourself.
Well, someone has to.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to break down all this information and highlight some of the more intriguing parts of the story, see if we can't, shed some light on this.
Shame they're not
enduring
showing their
enigma.
faces.
Yeah, it's a case that, even with all the advances in technology and all the investigations since 2014, it really continues to defy any easy answers.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's not your average, aviation incident. This is a Boeing 777, one of the most sophisticated aircraft ever built, just vanished. Poof. No trace. 239 people on board. Just a routine flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, and then silence.
It's that silence.
This is fucking crazy because I have never heard of this. 230 people just vanish in the thin fucking air? When did this happen? This is huge.
That's really, I think, sets MH370 apart from, other aviation mysteries. We're so used to hearing about mayday calls or distress signals, some indication of what went wrong, but MH370 just stopped.
It's almost as if the plane slipped through a crack in reality. I mean, the last message from the cockpit was totally standard. Good night, Malaysian 370. No hint of trouble, nothing. Then gone from radar.
The timing of that disappearance, that's really crucial. It happened just as MH370 was transitioning from Malaysian to Vietnamese air traffic control. So it was literally like between jurisdictions. I think that gap might have played a role in the initial confusion and the delayed response.
Okay, so we've got a plane vanishing and a communication handover, no distress signals, and a flight path that just ends abruptly. So what happens next? The world throws everything they've got at finding this plane.
Absolutely. It was one of the largest, most complex, and ultimately most frustrating searches in aviation history. You're talking multiple countries, cutting-edge sonar technology, underwater drones, everything, all combing a huge swath of the Indian Ocean.
And they found nothing. Not a single trace of this huge 200-foot.
I wonder what the success rates are of this sonar equipment and all of this fancy stuff they have that looks for things that are submerged in the water. There might be some explanations for this. I'm going to look further into this one day, but this is interesting because they could have this plane could have crashed and they just could have not found it. I can consider that, especially when you hear people talking the vastness of our oceans and how big they are, and 90% of them have never been explored, which I don't believe. But hey, you never know. There's talk of lands that, if there's lands here that we don't know about that we're being kept from, that maybe the ocean hasn't been explored. Maybe this plane is there. But so far, my theory of this time manipulation of the super speeds and cheating the clock, that's not what they're saying here. This is like some phasing type shit, like The Fly or Star Trek, beaming. I don't know. I think that's where they're going with this. Let's see.
Foot-long jetliner.
Not initially. For months, it was nothing but frustration, heartbreak. But then, almost a year and a half later, a piece of debris washed ashore on Reunion Island. Thousands of miles location. It was a flaperon, part of the wing that helps control lift and stability.
Okay, so the plane didn't just, disappear into thin air. But how does a piece of a wing end up on a remote island so far from the suspected flight path?
That's where analyzing the flaperon gets really interesting. Experts were able to examine its damage patterns, how it broke apart, even the barnacles that had grown on it. And all that data, it kind of paints a picture, pointing to a high-speed impact with the water. And the barnacles, they suggest the debris had been drifting for a long, long time.
So they're piecing together.
So there's just, I think I see what's going on here. So there's probably a few different theories about this. This is something that I just missed. This is, how it crashed and all of that. I'll look into that later. I want to look into this and do a video about it later. So I'm not going to play the rest of this because I want to know about these 240 people that are missing. That's what I'm concerned with. Fuck how this plane crashed and the time travel and all that other shit. Where are those people? And this is another psyop. I'm going to research this, see what people are saying, come back and give it my own thoughts. But for now, let me shut this show down. I had enough fun. Time for me to take my ass to bed. I'm the Red Dragon, y'all, and I'm out. I'll do another one soon. There's plenty of craziness to talk about. But for now, take your asses to bed.
You're a dragon.
Dracarys.
Dragon. You have dragon's blood in your veins. Be a dragon.
You don't want to wake the dragon, do you?
I am a dragon!
The world hasn't seen a dragon in centuries. The dragon.
There is only one God, and his name is death. And there is only one thing we say to death. Not today.
Dragon, 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 dragon. The dragon.
Dragon.
Dragon. Dragon. Dragon. Dragon.
Dragon.
Dragon. Dragon.
The dragon.
Be a dragon. Dragon.
Dragon.
The dragon. Dragon.
Vile man. I confess it.
I am the dragon.
Listen.
What is this brief mortal life?
Dragon.
If not the pursuit of legacy.
Dragon.
Can't we get along? No, nobody gets along. Everybody sucks. Not blacks and whites, every fucking body. I hate everybody and everything about every fucking body.
It is not.
Because people are scumbags. What are you laughing about? You're a scumbag.
When a dragon is functional, everything.
Dragon.
Listen.
We're about to sit down and spend some time with my friend, the Red Dragon, Reese from Philly, live.
They see you as you are.
Fuck! All of you!
Dracarys.